Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Wisconsin. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
I'm Doug Russell. New week with the Brewers still looking down from the top of the standings.
And a drive into left. Park has left the building.
Jeff Levering on the call on Brewers TV. The Crew blanked the Phillies 4-0 at American Family Field. Entering play this week, Milwaukee has a 5-game lead over St. Louis. The Crew off today. They'll open up a 3-gamer with the Guardians tomorrow night at American Family Field. Sunday at the World Cup, the Netherlands and Japan play to a 2-2 draw. Germany beats up on Curacao 7-1 as the Ivory Coast blanking Ecuador 1-0. Sweden over Tunisia 5-1. And on the ice, the hockey season comes to an end.
And they're going to clinch it appropriately. And a shutout. The Carolina Hurricanes have won the Stanley Cup for the second time.
Final score 3-0. The Hurricanes win the cup in 6 games. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the board y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
All aboard for the Monday edition. Welcome into the 5 o'clock club of the Huddle. Drew Olson, Bill Schmid, Armen Sarian bringing it to you. Rested and refreshed, sort of, after a glorious weekend that saw the coronation of a couple of champions and a king. The new king of New York is Jalen Brunson. Brewers win a series against the Phillies, which was uplifting, especially when they beat their best guy, making you think, oh, maybe this Brewers team does have something special. Welcome in, boys. How was it? How was this weekend? What a damn summer we're going to have now that we put the winter sports to bed.
Yes, they have now been taken out back and they are put to bed, Drew. It's well said, and it happened and wrapped up all in one weekend. I kind of enjoy we just had championship Saturday and Sunday, both heartbreaking finishes for the home team and the game ops department of the San Antonio and Spurs and Vegas Golden Knights. Well done, because they had to prep to do what you hate to think of and watch your team and watch another team celebrate a title on your ice or on your court, and you have to be the backdrop for it, but both did a phenomenal job. And you said it, man, King in New York. I don't know that there's been quite another story, a career arc that I can remember in the last couple of years. I've heard a lot of people try to do a lot of cross-sport comparisons, and it feels like a one-on-one. Jalen Brunson went from a second-round pick, albeit now high school state champion, national champion in college, NBA finals champion. I don't know, Drew. Maybe if you're a little undersized, maybe a tick slow, but you've won pretty much everywhere you've gone. Maybe I take a flyer on that guy before the middle of the second round.
Maybe.
I'm starting to wonder if that's a key to this whole thing is, every team that he's on seems to get better, and the guys around him seem to enjoy playing with him, and nobody has a bad word to say about him. Maybe we take that guy instead of potential us, which the NBA draft tends to generally be. This is a skill set that you can't miss.
Jalen Brunson,
but he misses.
It's a good point, Billy. He's proof that whatever you have to convince people of, like Jalen Brunson was always a good player, but nobody in the world was convinced he's a star and all these things. You see all these old clips pop up, the Becky Hammond, even though there's an old Barkley one. Right now, we're apologizing to Shaq. Like, nobody was convinced he was that guy. Like, we like to anoint these guys in the NBA, the stars and the ones that are going to do it. Listen, SGA was an example of that last year, and Jalen Brunson now, where you didn't think of those guys as being the stars, quote unquote, that would lead a team to a championship until they do. But now that they do, you have to put respect on his name. It was so impressive the way he did it, too. Remind me a little Giannis-esque of that. I'm just putting you on my back in game 6. Jalen Brunson just put them on his back in that game. It was so remarkable looking at the score, seeing the Knicks had scored, 70-something to that point, and knowing he had half of those points. Mm-hmm. It's like
very 90s-esque.
Basically, down the stretch, he's just said in the fourth, like, we're down. We're going to let Jalen try and win one-on-one every single possession, and there's no room for error, and he did it. Like, he had to score every time, and he basically did it. A couple of big plays, obviously, here and there for Mitchell Robinson, the rebound, Karl Towns, but it's like, it was all Jalen down the stretch. He put everything on his back, and he said, I'm going to do this myself. And that's not easy to do. I mean, to actually do it, especially on the road. Good point, Billy. Amazing, amazing stuff. One of the impressive events. One of the most impressive things we've seen is this also, guys. I never thought that if we ever saw the Knicks win a championship, I'd actually consider them like a likable, plucky underdog type team. I always thought, like, if the Knicks won the title, like New York, here we go again. But man, this was a likable New York Knicks team and a likable story. Even with all the
that's shocking to say that.
I would never expect it to say all these celebrities, all these famous people, all these, New York Knicks fans. I'm like, oh, you know what? We're kind of happy for them. It's amazing.
They lost 2 of their first 3 playoff games, Drew, and then lost 1 more in a month.
Incredible.
Ended up rolling through to the
historic
title.
run, and to be down double digits in all the games of the finals and still show the fortitude. What I love now is the revisionism, like Jalen Brunson. He's the man. He is the king of New York right now. I think he's going to be blowing up because the way that team unifies the city, he'll blow up like bigger than Eli Manning. He'll get more invitations to high-end bar mitzvahs and stuff like that.
Well, and
sell
I think
more jerseys.
And I think, Drew, he's got a chance to be a little bit bigger than that, just like in the sport, right? Like from the need of the American superstar, the hope of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but he is one of the most likable cats in the NBA, and in the
next Steph Curry,
and in a sport that gets dunked on, pardon the pun, for the majority of the time for everything that doesn't happen or what the guys do and don't do off the floor. He does everything right and battles it, and is there standing there hugging his dad after he wins the title. He's hard to find another superstar that folks would want to look up, and when they say don't meet your idols or kids shouldn't have athletes be role models, bad news for you. They're always going to be role models to kids. It doesn't matter if it's good ones or bad ones. That's a hell of a one to have when you look at it right there onto that floor. A lot of moments.
How painful is it for one ring out of Hoya, Armen Saryan, to see Villanova guys celebrating again?
Well,
Kolek, does it offset that? Kolek smoking a cigar, and
I think Tyler getting the ship was pretty cool. I was never a huge Nova hater, I have to say, either. I never looked at them as like a team I didn't like. Like, the Providences of the world. The nice thing about Villanova when they were winning all those titles is they were carrying the flag for the Big East in a kind of a tenuous time when they broke apart, from the rest and started their own conference. So I never really had a huge problem with Villanova. There was a sense like, all right, you can aspire to be like them if you have they're in a certain situation that's sort of similar to Marquette. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the quote-unquote Villanova Knicks, as we've heard a lot. Dante never got to be part of that. I mean, he did win a title with us, obviously, but he didn't get to be part of that Villanova Knicks title. But, yeah, Kolek got the dub. Kolek got the ring. So that was a nice little my buddy's group chat just going off. When's Tyler going to get minutes? I'm like, Mike,
Probably not going to happen.
Mike, relax. enjoy the game. Brother, I'm here to tell you he's not getting any minutes.
No.
We're here to watch Tyler Kolek sitting in that warm-up.
Did Axel Toupon get any minutes?
He's not getting any minutes. I'm like, listen, there's no blowouts in the series, so that's
he's
his only
getting a
chance
ring.
to get,
no minutes, but he's getting a ring, and he'll take it. He had his moments during the regular season.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Part of the team.
Most of his moments during the regular season, just to be, to remind myself of that, is when he played 2 games in one day with the Westchester
That's an
Knicks.
impressive
He did that
thing.
whole thing. So
it's about grinding. It's about work ethic. That's what you do at Marquette.
yeah, there you go, Billy.
Work hard to get better.
No, it was a cool finals. It was a great weekend in general. I mean, you mentioned it, Drew, on the outset. Talk about the USA having that big opening.
Big opener Friday.
Then, of course,
World Cup off and running, giving us something else to shift our focus to.
Are we going to win?
Stanley Cup?
No.
Yeah, we might win the whole
Holy
thing.
cow.
Come on,
like
Drew.
that was for somebody that never has or won't fake it as like a massive soccer fan. I'm watching it on Friday night along with the dominance that's happening at American Family Field. And I had to text Nags, who's one of the bigger soccer guys I know. I'm like, wait a second. Hold on. Are we this good, or is this Paraguay situation just that bad? Like there's a blending and trying to figure out the eyes, or did you just walk into the greatest American buzzsaw of all time in Los Angeles right there, and our soccer is taking everyone's football down? And now we run football and we run football. Right. If we can win what? We have to win 7 more games. Is that how this works?
It's the expanded knockout stage now, right? So you have to get out of group stage and then win 5 more, I believe. And Drew, to your point, yeah, I mean, we're not, but I'll tell you one thing, what they gave us the right to do. Now I have the right to dream. Now I can dare to dream. Now it's
smack too.
Now it's there. Now it's one of those where it's like, wow, look at what we did here. Now I have the right to actually dream about it and to think about it. They're not one of the favorites, but hey, who knows, man? Stranger things have happened. Right? Stranger things have happened. So we're always going to dare to dream. And that's what we can do now.
Dare to dream.
Yeah.
I love it. Dare to dream. 877-794-1973. We're already getting folks checking in. You 5 o'clock clubbers. We call you insomniacs, early risers, sociopaths waiting for the health club to open at 5 a.m. But there are people up and around at this hour. I'm stunned by it all the time. Talk to some early risers. It's the number one question I'm getting at cocktail parties now. It used to be, who's the biggest jerk of players that you've talked to? Because that's what people are fascinated with now. It's like, how do you get up and do those hours?
Do it, yeah.
Sleep when you can.
Yeah.
You hit the rack at a normal hour and then just don't get that panicked wake up like Billy got this morning.
Yeah, I was up with the boys a little bit last night, and I hit snooze a couple of times, and there was one moment where I leaned back, looked over at the clock, and I was like, whoa. 1 too many snoozes, probably 3 too many snoozes, and you better fire this bad boy up. But those are the once every 5 days. And then, just like a starter, you get to enjoy the next 3 or 4 days where you wake up casually and enjoy the sunrise while we drive in, which is hard to beat.
Yeah, we've all been there. I feel like, if this ever happens to us, it's okay. That's why we got 3 of us. We'll pick each other up until the other one comes in.
Still not nearly as bad, Drew, as when Armen and I first started doing the morning show. And that one was the 6 o'clock variety. But
that was new for us.
Where my wife actually did hit me and goes, hey, I think you got to go. And I just sat up like the Undertaker out of bed, grabbed my keys and walked out. I didn't do anything. I didn't grab a water. Didn't put my didn't put my contacts in, and I think drove without my glasses at that point. I got up, grabbed the keys, walked right out, made it here just in time. And Armen's like, hey, what's up? Like, you don't understand how close you were doing to having this thing be the most impressive solo mission of all time.
Ready to go, baby.
But we fired it up, and we had a lot of folks fired up with us, and probably more, especially if Steven on Alaska is checking in from Tomahawk, which I don't believe he is the only one, heading to the lake for some fishing. Go Brewers. We are going to get the early risers, the workers, the workout folks, but also those heading to the lake for the early ones, because the early bird gets the worm or the muskie if we're trying to fire these things up on the lake quickly.
Troy Casper here, 5 a.m. crew on the YouTube. We got the text coming in, so a lot of them coming in.
We are.
My man Andrew Fritch coming in here with a Molotov cocktail at 5 a.m. We'll get to this at some point.
We are.
But this is a big accusation he's lobbing over it. The emotional damage to LaFleur early in the morning. So
emotional damage.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So it's 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. You can connect with us, all you early risers and 5 o'clock clubbers. Now, the Knicks, they're already saying, okay, how are the Knicks, how are they going to repeat? I don't know that they will. Right?
This might have been a supernova type run.
But it's systemic. You look at the Bucks, you think teams are ready, like Oklahoma City. Oh, that's going to be a dynasty. Well, they didn't win. They didn't get past the Spurs. It's the way the NBA is, and the grind now of playing guys this deep and playing the extra series. And like if the Knicks decide to run it back, everybody else is going to try to get better. And, then there's you're stuck. Everybody else is getting better. And you're trying to hit the inside straight of everybody being healthy and productive again, and running it back is tough, man, as we've seen.
It's not as easy as it once was. And I don't know, Drew, if it is just the expanded one, like you mentioned, like how much different every series being 7 games is compared to a couple at least having the 5 gamers for a long time. But for a sport that's been dominated by dynasties, they put that graphic up after the Knicks finish it off and after the ceremony of the 8 consecutive years and 8 different champions. It's just such a different time in the sport where we're waiting for somebody to grab the mantle, but everybody said they hated it when you knew it was going to be a LeBron and Steph finals because for 4 straight years, the finals, whatever team was going to be, LeBron was going to be a part of it. And then it was going to be insert team over here. There's so much more parity, and it is got a lot of fan bases desperate to try to grab that brass ring.
LeBron, is such a polarizer, and I don't get it. That's one of the weird things about our sports culture. It's because he's not Jordan, but he's LeBron, and he's still one of one. But tell me when the next time we're going to see someone play in 8 straight finals is. It ain't going to happen. He's the outlier, right? He's the freak. And it's like, okay. But again, people have
but Drew, he lost some of those, so it doesn't count.
They've made their opinions known of LeBron, but that was an incredible run. And now what we have, and it's by design. I think it's a result of what they're trying to do. And with player movement and just the way the game has changed, it's going to be hard for anybody to repeat.
Well, it is funny.
Or make it back to the finals. Like, are the Knicks the favorite to win again? I don't know. I mean, can they keep everybody together? Unless they go and blow it up and get Giannis, which they're not, don't seem poised to do.
I can't think so. I think you missed your window there, big guy.
And that's the thing is like the Bucks tried to ride it and run it back, and then they tried to add Dame, and none of it worked.
And they were right at the front end of this, which I also think, Drew, is a massive part of not being able to run it back so much, and maybe why a team from the East Coast is maybe thinking about changing course for the big fella is the institution of the second apron and how difficult it is then to maneuver around. The Bucks were the first team to really get hamstrung by it when they went and grabbed Dame. They had 2 guys making, at that time, $50 million. Soon, these guys in Oklahoma City are going to have 2 guys making $70 million with Jalen Williams and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The cap's going up, but the percentage of it is still what it is. The financial limitations make it so much more difficult. And we'll see how the Spurs team comes back, because everybody looks at it and says, we got 3 great players in Harper, Castle, and obviously Wemby. They're going to go to like 9 finals. They'll go. It's their league now, so you might as well get it now, because they'll just continue to rattle off. They might not go back for 3, 4, 5 years. You don't know. LeBron's beginning of it, when they went and got swept by the Spurs, got humbled by it, took a few years to be able to get back. And you think you get close. It's why it's so tough to not finish it off when you're there. You never know for sure that you're going to have one of these chances again.
You never know. It's at the Dan Campbell thing. You never know if we're going to come back. It should look like, look like that way with Jokic, right? So, and it is funny because we do like to build our teams, our leagues now for parity, which is, I think, a good thing to have that equity or to have that difference in opportunity, because when there are too many dynasties, you're right, Billy, people tend to complain about it, but then it's like they get nostalgic for the dynasties, or they seem to want to be
Armen, you're missing the point that the national pastime is bitching and moaning about everything, no matter what it is. Like, I'm sick of these same teams winning. Well, there's no dynasties. Nobody's any good anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it both ways.
We got to get on fire on both sides of that one.
It must make us feel more comfortable in terms of our pathology to be able to.
Well, but there's another. The big part of it is you like having the throne to shoot at, right? For
the certainty of it.
Quickly, Patrick Mahomes went from the most likable guy in professional sports to the most despised human being in all of football when they went to 5 straight Super Bowls or 5 out of 6 Super Bowls. It's crazy how quickly that can change, but you see it all the time. You either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. And I don't know that the Knicks will be in the title picture too long for them to become villains, because right now they are one of the more likable ones in there.
They are.
San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Boston, all right now listed Drew, with better odds to win the NBA championship in 27.
I'm not shocked because there's going to be an injury that happens. Something's going to go wrong. Like they hit the inside straight. Mike Brown was the right man for the moment. He kind of let his veterans he let them kind of flow. He went kind of with the Harvey Keene approach, right?
Yes,
to kind of like,
go.
And
then he got to
his first meeting was, I hate meetings and this meeting's over. Okay.
Get up out of here.
Let's get out of here. Well, that's what that veteran team needed. He listened to his veterans and didn't try to force his will.
Similar to Mike Budenholzer, right?
Went with the flow a little bit.
Towards the end, once they go down 2-0 against Brooklyn, he goes, "Hey, fellas, you guys know how to stop these guys? Because I sure as heck don't." And ultimately, they had the right play. I think the other fun part about it for Mike Brown is he just luckily also had an agent on the other side. One of his favorite players that he's ever coached, De'Aaron Fox, decided to go turncoat and just Benedict Arnold the whole thing.
My goodness.
Did you see him? Not full Monty Williams go and join the celebration to go and dap up Mike Brown after the game, but he did have to get himself over there and say thank you. And Mike Brown, no. De'Aaron, thank you. Thank you.
In a series of a lot of lingering questions for San Antonio, why this happened, because it sure looked like they fumbled it in a lot of these games. That's one of the biggest. Why De'Aaron Fox continued to play underwhelming, not play well, mess up in these big moments. Was he hurt? Was he not? Whatever it is, that's one of the lingering questions, along with what people are doing with Wemby now. And we talk about the way we do this in human nature. It's also a hero to villain arc. Wemby was everybody's darling, and then he's
now he can't finish.
Gotten it done. Now he can't do this, and he's the villain.
It's his first time in the playoffs. And
it is what it is.
Choker.
We can't.
It is what it is.
We can't say
can't help ourselves.
We can't say like Brunson was just that good.
You
gotta have a villain.
No, I mean Wemby was tough down the stretch the last 2 games though too.
Sure, but I love the revisionism though, because when Mike Brown was hired, people ripped the move.
I know Mike Brown.
Like how can you hire Mike Brown?
And he was like their sloppy seconds, like sloppy fifths. Like they tried a whole bunch of other dudes.
Did they call Hurley too? Right? I think they called just about everybody under the sun.
And then the revisionism that goes on now, because go back and I saw somebody put together a montage of people crushing the Knicks for acquiring Jalen Brunson. Mm-hmm. He's not a number one. He's not going to lead. Is he going to lead you to even the second round? No. Okay.
Yeah. And
he scored 46, hold my beer. And in every big basket this season, every big moment he was there, and he's the king of New York now. And all these talking heads just move on to the next.
No, now Drew, then they always knew.
On to the next.
No, they always knew.
They never held
even better.
There's never any receipts for anybody. Just puke that into the ether. A hot take. Okay, great.
That's my favorite thing about freezing cold takes. Like the ones in game. Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
The ones where you can bring back from years ago of Stephen A. Smith going on ESPN. He can't even be Allen Houston. This isn't LeBron James. It's Jalen Brunson. Who hated watching that finals more and watching the Knicks win? Tom Thibodeau, as you mentioned, Dante DiVincenzo.
Thibs up there. Yeah, he's up there. He wasn't with his boys.
I got one for you, unless you're going to say it here.
Or the aforementioned Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, I have another one.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
when the beginning of the year came up and the first of I shouldn't say first, maybe the 7th of the 96 Sham stories pointing to Giannis letting the Bucks know before the season, hey, I don't want to play here anymore. And New York is the only place I'll go. And the Knicks are the only team I want to play for. And the apparent conversation and how close the negotiation was. It's just, I wonder if this will sit with him for a little while.
I think Giannis is pained watching anybody else win the Larry O'Brien.
That's fair.
He just wants to be a part of it.
Anybody else that wins.
Right.
I thought you were going to say Minnesota Timberwolves fans or Jimmy Butler.
Oh, Jimmy Butler.
We had to see Karl Anthony Towns get a title before him. The guy he clowned in that famous Timberwolves practice.
That's true. That's true. All right, we're off and running. 877-794-1973. And we did bury the lead because we got to talk about it, because tomorrow in Milwaukee and Wisconsin is going to be Cooper Pratt Day.
Ooh.
We'll talk about the ramifications of the Brewers apparently calling up their shortstop prospect. The $80 million man is going to hit the big leagues in front of our very eyes at American Family Field this week.
And meet the expectations, fellas, because I already got people asking what his stat lines are going to be.
Don't go anywhere. We're locked and loaded for a Monday. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from headquarters. First day of the week. We're churning towards. We got Summerfest starting in Milwaukee this week, Thursday.
Yes.
We've got Brewers off day today, which is glorious after a series win against the Phillies. They lost the second one, won the third against Sanchez. Pretty sweet victory for the Brewers. Pretty good week. Cooper Pratt is on his way. There was kind of ceremoniously removed from the field during the game yesterday in Nashville and heading up to get settled on an off day and find his apartment and stuff, or a hotel as it may be. Get the family ready for
Get him
his
a nice
big
condo.
league debut. And maybe somebody will let him. I don't know, the vets will let him live. Crash at my place, kid. That happens.
Get on
sometimes.
in here. You got some time, kid. But by the All-Star break, make sure you find something because I know what that paycheck's looking like.
The long-awaited move it will be made. Now, what's the offshoot? Renhefo got dinged yesterday. Is he going on the IL? Is he going to be DFA'd? It's the first day, I think, that you can. I think Tuesday might be the first day that you can trade free agents in there that you've acquired. So maybe there's something cooking. Who knows? But Cooper Pratt is coming up to take the mantle as the Brewers shortstop. And cool moment yesterday in Nashville. Jeff Heim, the play-by-play guy,
he was on it,
broadcast it, and cool social media moment. And we'll have something else now. Now, we've talked a little bit about the coronation of champions with the Carolina Hurricanes last night. The Knicks on Saturday ending their 53-year championship drought. Parties in New York like crazy, which was awesome. It was kind of refreshing to see the Knicks win after all these many years. And then we'll get into a little bit later about all the teams that have had, just incredible droughts in the NBA. The Bucks ended theirs at 50. The Knicks were 53, and there's teams that have never won titles in that league. It's interesting dynamic because that's not when people think, well, baseball's got to have a salary cap. Well, baseball has more diversity at the top and in terms of titles than a lot of other sports, including the NBA
and the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, right? I mean, like you think about teams that have been in as long as anybody. The Detroit Lions, boys and girls, have been playing football as long as anybody.
Absolutely.
The closest they sniffed was having a third quarter lead in the title game. So I mean, like
Lions, the Vikings.
There's a number, and luckily we get to enjoy and bask in the glow and dunk on two of them. There he is.
Two of them right in the division.
It is funny. I think sometimes the parity with champions happens on design and happens by accident. And sometimes I think it's just happened by accident for these leagues as well. But hey, if it's happening, it's happening.
Yep. So 5 o'clock clubbers, you're welcome to hit us up on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. You want to get your game balls and kicks to the balls in early before you go about your morning routine. 877-794-1973. Now, because we got the World Cup, the United States won Friday. That's off and running. We're transitioning. That's going to take more and more of the bandwidth, I think, as it moves along because there's no hockey, there's no more basketball. We are expecting a resolution of some kind with Giannis in the very near future.
Soon.
We got Cooper Pratt's debut. But Friday evening, I received a text from a friend of mine, and he said, in essence, goodbye, Giannis. Hello, Miz. Milwaukee has its new hero. Jacob Misiorowski on Friday night was
Logic's not flawed.
otherworldly. It seems like it was a month ago already because that's the world we're in. But Friday night belonged to Miz, the world of sports. We had, obviously, Team USA beat Paraguay. That was great. But the NBA and NHL were dark, and Miz pretty much had the spotlight, the non-World Cup spotlight to himself. For me, being there, I've been going to all the baseball games for a long time. That's the best pitch game I've ever seen. I think it's more dominant even than Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game, which people in Chicago. Now, I was talking, I texted Hardecourt because Hardecourt went to that game because he was collecting stuff for a feature, like a preview. I think maybe the Cubs were coming to town or something. He kind of went to that game on a whim, like, I'm going to go down to Wrigley today. Lo and behold, sat there and saw history, ended up filing a story for the paper. It's one of those lucky accidents.
For
right?
sure.
He was there. And I've been jealous of him being there because it was epic. It's memorable. 20 strikeout game for Kerry Wood at Wrigley Field. But I don't know that it was as dominant as Miz. Throwing 97 pitches, complete game, not going to a 3-ball count, 15 punch outs, and no great defensive plays, nothing more than routine. The Phillies were completely overmatched. And again, Kerry Wood had that slider that day, and you can go back and watch the highlights, and I can remember I remember being around at that time and the aftermath and the reverberations of that game. But I still think what Miz did was more impressive. I just don't know how you cannot be more impressive. He was one swing away from having a perfect game, with 15 strikeouts and a bunch of pitches over 103 miles an hour.
That's the last part.
Yes, and the other thing, like you can have the slider that day, that's phenomenal. But when it's the fastball, it's the easiest one, and it's the easiest breeze 100+ miles an hour that we've ever seen. I'm with you. I also think, Drew, the other part of the dominance of it was the full story that surrounded him, and why the comparison in the Goodbye Giannis, Hello Miz, we went from Buddy the Elf to Forrest Gump.
That's right.
Affectionately coined by his manager.
And how about him putting out that meme that a buddy sent him? That was amazing.
Beautiful work. Hey, because you have
lean into it.
You need to have something that you can grab onto, and he's got a lot. He gives you a little bit almost every time. Another reason why people will start to fall in love with him as the person, because he's just as open and honest, as a little bit corny as he possibly can be,
and that's
to be 6'7" and just
6'7" geeky kid.
Dominate folks. And you're right, a 6'7" geeky kid that you can protect at all costs. But he's also like, yeah, I do also remember everything that those guys said about me last year.
Yeah,
I do remember everything that happened from that clubhouse last year. That is amazing. Come up,
and I think that's the key when you around here too. I mean, in these parts, the stars we love had that sort of like self-deprecating, humble, everyman quality of when they first come up. The geekiness, Giannis had the smoothie thing, and Miz had that thing. But then every now and then you see that glint of the eye of the tiger inside of them, which you saw in Giannis, and you see it from Miz when he says things like that. You see the competitive nature. You see how he's good in the big stage. So, deep down, there's a fire that's burning. People love that. We love that around here. And I think that's part of it. Besides the performance, besides the otherworldly things physically that they can do, it's that personality as well that people can attach to, that is not too there's no facade, there's no ego, there's no all these things that's outward. Like there's nothing detestable about the personality. It's the opposite, actually. And that's what people love as well. And that seeing it on display every fifth day, it's like most pitchers can dream of one game the way Miz does it every game. It's the whole thing where the remarkable is starting to become unremarkable, and it's just a sight to see. And the fact that he's ours, yeah, exactly. I mean, one of the most impressive games you'll ever see pitched, and we're saying that now every fifth start, which is awesome. And how about his buddy Kyle Harrison last night helping him out in the Cy Young race? That's what I thought about last night. Kyle's like, all right, I'm going to go win this game. I'm going to make sure my guys touch up Sanchez, give him an L. Not touch him up, but longer than more runs than he's given up in 7 starts.
Yeah, if Kyle Harrison had anything to do with it, how about his buddy Blake Perkins?
Well, Blake as well. With it, hey, if you got one good one, Blake, save it.
Apparently, he's the greatest kryptonite that Christopher Sanchez has ever seen. Was he 7 of 8 now in his career? They said against him. But Drew, to your point, I got to get back to this because we can't gloss over. You've seen 2,000 baseball games. There's
at least,
we're well in
paper.
Well in the 4 digits of the amount of baseball games you've ever seen.
Indeed,
the most dominant you've ever seen somebody on the mound was Friday night.
Yes, and I've seen Clemens, I've seen Pedro, I've seen Randy Johnson.
That one Sheets game
Kershaw.
Against
the Sheets 18 strikeout game was great, but this was, and that was like shadow aided a little bit, but this was just in terms of just overmatching, making them look like they had no chance. And when he's on like that, like to throw a Maddox, the complete game under 100 pitches is freaky. But when he's on his game, like he like I said, no 3-ball counts, hardly any 2-ball counts because they had to just swing because he's pounding the strike zone.
Yes,
with quality,
that's it.
Borderline unhittable pitches, and you just like what do hitters do? Like Schwarber had a clean knock, thank God.
That was it. Yes,
that was it. And then was erased on a double play. So you face 27 batters, the absolute minimum you can face. It's like it's the most dominant no hitter of all time
for sure.
And he was one swing away from a perfect game. And I don't know how you can.
And the crowd could feel like you could feel it on TV that the crowd was understanding just how great he was. That pop when he comes out of the dugout for the 9th inning was chilling. Also, great call by Brewers TV to stay there throughout the break. That was phenomenal work by them.
Absolutely. And I saw Nolan Ryan, and they reminds me of that as a youth. Like, this guy's throwing so hard, like people can't catch up. And he's throwing so much harder and deeper into the game than everybody else. He's just a freak, and it's just fun to watch. And people are starting to get it where they're starting to cheer him. You know, he's the kind of guy that you get there early and watch him walk out to the bullpen and give him an ovation.
You want
right?
the whole experience. Yes.
Get the whole thing. And then first pitch, bomb, like first 2-strike count, go nuts in the first inning. Like people are starting to catch on to what it's like. And his starts will feel like a playoff game. Now, again, CC Sabathia was dominant. He should have had a no-hitter in Pittsburgh probably. He was dominant during his run, but never that level of overman. And that's a good lineup. The Phillies are a good offensive lineup.
It's an incredible lineup.
They took some ugly hacks, man. They had some ugly hacks. Yeah. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, you weren't just going up there against Carl Crawford's son for 15 times, who, again, good luck to him. I felt bad for poor John. He walked into that buzzsaw. He caught it 3 times, but just about everybody did. You mentioned it. Schwarber had the clean hack because he said, all right, he's thrown 80% fastballs. I'm going to time one up and see if I can hit it. And there he gets a knock into right field. But the pounding of the strike zone, Drew, I don't know. And everybody can have a heater. This isn't just a good day for somebody to stumble into. He went from a year ago on the day when he walked in, 5 no-hit innings and walked 4. And there was a moment where like you could tell he would lose it and he would throw 8 straight balls. There's nothing close to that. He went to a two ball count, I think, with Schwarber the first time, which made it even more impressive. He threw like 19 balls for the rest of the game throughout that time. Like it's one of the most dominating performances across the sport, but also just the way he went about it and the fashion in which he has commanded the mound. That comes from just the numbers and the pelts that he's put on the wall is impressive enough, but he has taken so much confidence in 1 year that he's owning the mound. Like you mentioned, Sabathia, he came here, he was already runner-up in Cy Young and had been in the league for 6 or 7 years. You don't get to do that after 30 starts the way he has.
I'm thinking that, last year there was some hue and cry about him getting to the All-Star game, and the Phillies were leading the charge because their guy got left off. Okay. Yeah. But I don't know, how is he not starting the All-Star game, right? He's going to start this year.
He's up there.
You'd think. Ohtani could,
maybe, right?
But I think it would let Ohtani be the DH, and does Ohtani need to pitch? It's all going to come down to like when did they pitch last, and there might be wherever the rotations fall. But you make a case that Miz is the starter because he's the show. It's what everybody wants to see. It's what everybody was talking about on Saturday. And even Friday night into Saturday, Friday night on social and Saturday, just the buzz around Miz was incredible.
The spectacle of what he can do physically.
And I thought the same thing. Then remember, the All-Star game is in Philadelphia. So I don't know how much, and Roberts will manage it, or since he managed the last one, will they move it around?
He's managing, but I think he did add Mattingly, I think.
So I think there's the Ohtani one is always going to be a factor, because for them to be able to say he's going to start the All-Star game,
showcase him,
and lead off the game, that spectacle is something that's going to be tough to pass up. Sanchez also not starting the All-Star game in Philadelphia, I would be a little bit surprised about. But there's no doubt that he hasn't earned it. He's going to do it a number of different times. And he, at the Potawatomi Sportsbook at least, from the Cy Young candidacy, has leapfrogged just about everybody and finds himself right now as the betting favorite ahead of Sanchez, ahead of Skeens, ahead of Ohtani. And Ohtani had a sub-1 ERA for the majority of the season.
Pretty wild. I mean, this is the year. There aren't many like this, that we have an incredible amount of candidates for NL Cy Young that are shaping up. I mean, there's usually guys that are front runners, obviously, but if you're talking about situations where Skeens might be even like 5th, it's an incredible year. It's going to be a great race. It's going to be someone's going to lose and win Cy Young this year in the NL, but one of the losers is going to deserve it most years. So at least one. So It's pretty amazing to see. Really quick, we've got Justin DeBro, 6770. Good morning. Got to see Miz on Friday in person. And if I get to see Pratt tomorrow in person, this will be Christmas in June. How about that? That would be two good
there you go.
To see right
there you go. When we come back, Hunter Baumgart's report from the Brewers weekend and their victory yesterday. Shutout victory. Phillies, for all the offensive weapons they have, they've been shut out like more than anybody in baseball. I think 7 shutout losses for them. It was an interesting weekend of ball. Brewers off today, Guardians Tuesday, and it'll be Cooper Pratt Day in Wisconsin. Hunter Baumgart's report is coming up next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you, the Huddle Monday edition. Mondays hit different here because we got plenty to unpack. It was a glorious sports weekend. We knew going in it was going to be a great weekend. Saturday was a nice day. Sunday, a little chilly and gray. We can use a few more degrees, Mother Nature.
Come on.
As we hurtle towards the actual, I think we're in summer mode, especially now with the NBA and the NHL.
Oh, it's summer, yeah.
Exiting the stage. It's Summerfest in Milwaukee this weekend. We'll be talking a lot about that, but we're in the throes of it, and it was a glorious crossover weekend. Much enjoyed. So your game balls and kicks, we'll take them at 877-794-1973. That's the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. And right now, let's take a listen to the recap of the Brewers series clinching victory over the Phillies yesterday at American Family Field. He's going to join us later in the show, but let's go to a live report from our correspondent and our friend, Hunter Baumgardt.
Thanks, guys. The Brewers get a series win over the Phillies over the weekend. A 4-0 win yesterday afternoon. Kyle Harrison's 6 shutout innings. How about Misiorowski and Harrison combined in the series? 15 shutout innings without walking a batter. Just dominant performances on both days. And the Brewers got to Christopher Sanchez. Sanchez had not allowed more than 2 earned runs in a start since April 23rd. They got him for 4, including a Jackson Churio home run in the first, and then a 3-run home run by Blake Perkins in the 4th inning. His first home run of the season. Brewers manager Pat Murphy was very happy for him.
He is grinding. He's hurting. It's been horrible for him, I'm sure, but he's been a great guy to everybody else. He's had a great attitude, and I went up to him in the middle of the game and just told him how happy I was for him, truly happy from my heart for a guy like that whose numbers look horrible, and to come through for us once again.
And that did a lot for Kyle Harrison, who, of course, was the starting pitcher. He said that home run in the first and the home run in the 4th gave him a boost on the mound.
Just it lets you go out there and fill the zone up, man. Lets you be free and attack the zone. But yeah, man, Trio swinging the bat, and that was a great start. So anytime you get ahead on a team like that, especially a good team that's rolling, it's good to punch first.
How about the boost that, in the middle of your outing then, Perkins with the home run that gave a little bit more separation? I'm sure that gives you a little bit more of a boost there too.
100%. That was the boost we needed. I mean, what a day from him. And I guess there's some previous numbers that he's done well. So just a good day for the Bats.
So the Brewers are off today before hosting the Cleveland Guardians for a 3-game series coming up starting tomorrow night. Jose Ramirez, their star, is out on the IL, so he will not be playing in this series. He was placed on the IL yesterday morning. And, of course, the big news, Adam McAlvey of MLB.com reporting that Cooper Pratt, shortstop from the Nashville Sounds, expected to be called up to Milwaukee and probably make his debut coming up tomorrow night. So we're looking forward to that. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. I'll join you guys at 7:25 to talk more about the crew. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hunter Baumgardt. Thank you, Import Minded.
And thank you, Hootie.
Yeah.
I always like getting a little Hootie in there in the background to rock out with Hunter. The last part with Pratt going to make the debut coming up on Tuesday, it's a nice little jolt to the excitement because young players, Drew, whether they come up and mashed for, a 280 average and slug throughout and hit a bunch of homers. I heard Yelich talking about it maybe a year or so ago, and hear him talk about it when Frelick came up. There was obviously the big pop. Now, hard to have a better debut than Sal Frelick did, right? Jackson Churio comes up and he hits 5 homers in his first month in the big leagues. There's a different boost that young players can give in an energy. And whether or not he comes out and dominates, I think they are going to get at least in the midst of the season, him getting to experience everything and bring along. They have such a good culture. It appears that energizes the group of veterans a little bit to see somebody young, fresh, just like Miz was a year ago, go through and start dominating and find some success. In the midst of the season, they've done a great job of being able to bring guys along at the same time. And I think that that little jolt of excitement of something new will be a welcome sight for some of the veterans, even on the club.
I agree.
And we haven't even got to mention Jackson yet. He's been so hot lately. What a weekend for him.
Yeah, to hit 2 on Saturday and another one yesterday.
To
get things going, and he's up to 9 homers already. He's finding it. And it's funny because here's Jackson Churio hot. Meanwhile, among the Tire and Strip Club ads, Bryce Terang is the mayor of Slump City.
Once again, yep.
He's not getting it
Quickly
going.
in.
So one guy who was hot is now not, and the guy who was not is now hot.
You got to pick each other up, though. That's what a team
That's
is.
what it is.
You
But
know?
that's the season, and that's the thing. Like, it'd be, well, imagine if they get everybody hot at the same time. That never happens.
Let's just get
It's
that
always
one
a couple
time in
guys.
October, because that luckily
Yeah.
luckily ended up happening for the Dodgers a year ago.
Right.
They're also hot talking text line. Dave and Kimberly, thanks for starting up at 5 a.m. I start work every day at 4:30 and have always hated waiting until 6 for live sports talk. You guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Let's go, Dave from Kimberly.
Thanks,
and
Dave.
you keep up the work early on. We're here for all of you throughout the day.
But then James came at us and said, Knicks are the model franchise after one win. This is where I changed the radio station. Too early to be listening to nonsense.
Cool.
Who called the Knicks the model
I
franchise?
don't remember any of us
You
calling
listened
them
to
that.
a different show.
Cool.
No, Jalen
Thanks.
Brunson might be the model superstar. I think that was
Yeah,
maybe what he
but
heard.
We're not
No.
saying,
man.
no one said, they're run by James Dolan.
Well, he changed the
Anything
channel, so
but
he
the
didn't even
model
hear it.
franchise.
Right.
All right. Well, the fun starts. Game balls and kicks next. You're in the huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers keep the train rolling.
1-2, driven out towards center. Giving it a shot is Hill, and it's back and gone again for Churio.
Jeff Levering on the call on Brewers TV. Milwaukee blanks Philadelphia 4-0 at American Family Field. The Crew off today. They'll open up a 3-game series with Cleveland tomorrow night. Taking a look at the rest of the Central, well, the rest of the division lost. The Cardinals get beaten by the Twins 5-4. The Cubs lose to the Giants 5-1. The Pirates lose to the Marlins 4-2. The Reds fall to the Diamondbacks 5-3. Today at the World Cup, it's Spain taking on Cape Verde. That will get underway at 10 o'clock. That'll be followed up by Belgium against Egypt. Saudi Arabia will play Uruguay, and Iran will play New Zealand. And the Packers wrap up their offseason program this week with one last round of OTAs. At least for the rookies, the veterans will be checked in virtually. Training camp starts in about 6 weeks. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy got to do. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. You got to sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Locked and loaded, ready to dominate. We continue the Monday edition of the Huddle, 5 o'clock clubbers. Let's welcome in the 6 a.m. risers. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you on Game Balls and Kicks of the Balls Monday. Hit us up, NicoletLaw.com, talking text line 877-794-1973. Still fresh powder and plenty to get to. Stanley Cup, NBA Finals, World Cup, Brewers, Phillies, Cooper Pratt, all kinds of good stuff. The Miz adding to his legacy with an unbelievable game on Friday night. One of the best most have seen. Top 5 non-no-hitter performance of all time. Right up there.
And also being able to utilize the term Maddox and let a new group of baseball fans in on that. I had a lot of fun with. I'll be honest, hand raised in air. I didn't catch it right away. Obviously, I understood what it was. I didn't know Greg Maddux had thrown so many of those that they just coined the phrase after him.
Maddux.
But that is one of the pure ones to be able to drop. Everybody was firing it in, and the dominance in which he went about it, the smile that he had on his face after the great shot of Garrett Mitchell cleaning off the cups of the Gatorade tub. Drew, you were probably finishing up your final filings as Mitchell looks over in the Brewer TV camera there in the dugout, catches him in the act. He goes, "Oh
Yeah. Let's
you
get
know
him.
what's about to be happening."
Oh,
Sophia couldn't have the quick enough feet to get out of there, but I don't think she minded after a performance like that.
That's right. Now, there's some debate. Was this better than Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game, which came back in 1998? He was 20 years old at the time, so that was a phenomenon.
That
there.
was the big
So
thing. He matched his age with strikeouts.
that was the thing,
right?
and it was his 5th career start, so a little bit of a Brandon Jennings element to it.
Well, the great thing is this is going to be one that another knockdown drag out for Cubs fans and Brewers fans.
Yeah.
To be able
That
to
is a good
debate.
one. Yes.
The hit that he gave up was an infield hit, kind of a borderline play, and he did hit a batter, didn't walk anybody. He threw 122 pitches that day, which is, again, pretty dominant.
That'll play.
He was also facing future Hall of Famers Craig Biggio and Jeff Bagwell, each of whom struck out 3 times. Derek Bell struck out 4 times. So he faced 30 batters over 9 innings, so 3 more than the minimum, whereas Miz faced 27. And, there's some pretty good Hall of Famers in the lineup there.
In that lineup, too. Yes.
And Derek Bell. I mean, not Derek Bell. The Bryce Harper is definitely like up there.
He's in, and like you can look up Trey Turner's had some phenomenal years. He won a batting title at some point. Like that. And Drew, I'm glad you mentioned that because I do think it matters who you're doing it against. This isn't, the back end of a September lineup with 40-man call-ups all over the place that you're doing this against. This is against one of the coming into the game. It was the two hottest teams in the league since they had fired Rob Thompson. The Phillies had the same record as the Brewers in the time frame, and they were the best two teams in the sport. And to be able to do it in the efficiency was rather unheard of. I thought of just a couple of things Miz has done, because that being the day of his 1 year anniversary, 365 days as a big leaguer. He started his career with across 2 starts, 11 consecutive no-hit innings, right? He had a no-hitter in the first 5 innings on his debut, goes into Minnesota and was perfect, I believe, through the first 6 innings until he hit a man and gave up a homer, struck out 12 in a victory against the LA Dodgers, then tossed a scoreless inning in the All-Star game after 5 starts. Fast forward, a couple of months, gets the win in a winner-take-all Game 5 against your most hated rival in the Chicago Cubs, and then throws also missed in there, opening day starter in there as well, on top of throwing a complete game shutout on 95 pitches and striking out 15 Phillies. That just a couple of the highlights of the first year of the Miz.
How about that, huh? Yeah. Incredible stuff. Just amazing.
You start wondering, and I texted our boy the franchise because he had this long running deal of, you have great players, you have guys that come up and run through the league, and like Ryan Braun is probably the closest thing to comes up and immediately is at borderline a really good player in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
like at least wins the Rookie of the Year, but came in as a real ball player, not necessarily a superstar. I mean, Miz, you've now finally got your Juan Soto version of somebody that's walked in and immediately is one of the best players in the game. There's only a few that come up, and right now he's playing for your team, which is a crazy thing to think of.
Now, Billy knows one of my favorite pastimes. Much to my chagrin and frustration, I was ready to do this, but I couldn't, obviously, because I couldn't get into my Twitter. One of my favorite pastimes is to try and rattle the cage of Chicago fans. Now, to your point, Drew, this was also kind of swimming around in my mind, this game and the Kerry Wood game. And I know people are going to say Kerry Wood's game was more impressive because of the total strikeout numbers, the counting stats. He had 20. But there's one main difference in this game for Miz than Kerry Wood's game. One main difference in baseball, and that's the existence now of the ABS challenge. And if you go back and look, as impressive as he was, Kerry Wood's curveball was filthy, nasty all the way through the 9th. Kerry Wood did benefit that day from a uniquely, incredibly big strike zone from Jerry Meals. Jerry Meals was giving him all kinds, because Jerry Meals might have had a meal to get to. He might have had a reservation for a Jerry Meals. Jerry, don't call me late for my meals. The umpire. It was a large
before his
zone.
flight out of O'Hare.
Yeah, I know, right? But the thing is, he had a really large strike zone that day, and we don't know how. If you go back in time and those get ABS challenged, how things might have changed if the umpire was Billy held accountable to that strike zone.
I like that.
Miz doesn't have that luxury anymore, and I think because of that, things have tightened up in general with umpires. So, look, this is not to rip on Kerry Wood. Obviously, it was
don't back down. Don't back down. Pedal to the floor.
He was incredible.
Miz's was way better than Kerry Wood.
In a rather overrated career, that was a big highlight for Kerry Wood, I would say. If you actually look back and look, it was kind of an overrated career, but it's because of injury. I'm not going to totally blame him for it. Now, it was a great game. It was an incredible performance by Wood. His ball was moving. You go back and look, you're like, wow. But you go back and watch that game, and I've watched some cut-ups. The strike zone was just super big, and Miz did not have that. So that's what makes this one more impressive than Kerry Wood's game.
Couple of things about that, too. Jerry Meals was in his first year as a Major League umpire that year with the Kerry Wood game.
Okay.
And the first pitch of the game went back and hit him in the mask.
Yeah, so he wasn't even in his right mind.
He was rattled. Come on.
And maybe that's the reason
he wasn't injured, but he got smoked on the first pitch of the game.
He saw multiple strike zones that day.
There you go.
All right, we got to play the sounder so I can give Armen a game ball for that.
Thank you,
and a kick to the balls for your hacker for not allowing us to have that earlier on.
Jerk.
And not have Cubs Twitter and Michael Bush lover 64896 be able to go right back at you. We need to start this thing up right.
At least they haven't tweeted it under
All
my
right.
name in a few days.
Plenty of fresh powder for game balls and kicks. You know how it works. If you got a game ball to give, you present it to somebody who's done a great job in some venue, some arena, not necessarily just sports, because we do other things as well. I mean, I'd give myself a game ball for the Blackstone breakfast I prepared yesterday, but just saying. Game balls for a job well done today on the program sound like this. Perk has left the building. Blake Perkins.
I
Great
debated
moment.
giving it to Miz, but this is going to be Perk's big shot.
I'd give it to Perk. That's good.
Say, you gotta
That's
give
fine.
him one.
Now, conversely, if you want to give a kick to the huevos to somebody to get them focused, to make them see the error of their ways, get them on a performance improvement plan, a kick to the balls today on the Huddle is this.
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney's here.
Yes, Charles. There's a lot.
He
to
was
pick
so
from.
excited.
Cardi, them some D's. Those might be. Cardi B,
I thought about
wrong
that
initial.
one.
Dude.
I thought about that one too.
Yeah. So anytime you can get Chuck on there. So game balls and kicks to the balls. Get us off and running. Like we said, plenty of fresh powder. And I'll start with one because Armen just opened the door and you invite abuse. And when you have access to your Twitter account,
yes,
your X account, you like to engage our friends south of the border.
Oh, he's always getting it.
But
asking.
I'm going to give a game ball to friend of the program, Len Casper, and the team he calls the Chicago White Sox.
Sorry about that.
White Sox.
Big time.
The White Sox are rolling. They took it to the Dodgers over the weekend. They had a sellout crowd at Rate Field. They're starting to be a thing. It's like, who expected this? Like they came in much like the Brewers getting stomped in Yankee Stadium a year ago to open the season. The White Sox came to AmFam to open the season, looked like a JV team.
Yeah, caught a couple of right hooks.
They did. And I remember talking to Len and Darren Jackson because they had a miserable summer last year. We're like, hey, is this team? I said, do you guys see improvement? They said, oh yeah, absolutely. This team will be better. You know, and they didn't know about
relative for them.
They didn't know about
for sure
contending, but like, I mean, what's their record right now?
It's 38 and 32. They're tied for the league, the AL Central lead against the Guardians, who come into American Family Field coming up on
38 and 32. They didn't win their 38th game last year till what, mid-September?
Close to, dude. And like they also feel like they might be just a step above the this is cute for a while, guys.
Yeah.
Like they feel like, especially with now being able to continue winning some games after Murakami's gone out, feels like they could have a real shot at this thing to be able to roll through.
Right.
Their offense has been, quite productive. They got a couple guys stepping up. Kudos to the White Sox. All right, so the shirts are off. The seal's been broken. Give us your game balls and kicks to the balls. JT and Sussex.
Come on, JT. Fire them up.
Game ball, the U.S. soccer men's national team for a strong first match in the World Cup and not bowing down to the pressure of being the host country. Pressure?
I was going to say, I don't know what
adrenaline lift.
There was a pressure cooker that Paraguay was walking into. I mean, that place was a hornet's nest on Friday night, and you sure hope the same thing can be the case when they go to Seattle.
They came out hard in the second half. They gave them like their blitz. Everybody does. You get that one flurry, right? And then U.S. handle it.
And
good night.
And I don't know enough of the attacks and counterattacks. All I know is when the ball is on one side of one half of the field for the majority of the game, that's probably going to bode well. It felt like the ball was continually in the U.S. zone.
They were dominant. It was pretty impressive.
So good that they pulled Pulisic out at some point. They're like, yeah, you're fine. You didn't score
good.
And ruined a lot of people's parlays, but don't worry about it.
Get a blow. We don't need you in there. And for a team, I hate to say it, like they've been underwhelming us my whole life. I mean, really, the USA men's soccer team, what a start this was. And all right, let's build on this now, right? That's kind of the way I look at it. Let's build on this thing now. Let's get another win. Let's get our points. Let's get through the group stage and start to dream. Because that's what they gave us, a right to dream, which I love.
So I mentioned the White Sox. They're now 20-4 in their last 24 home games.
Whoa.
Well,
they had a
staggering number.
And they had a homestand against the Dodgers and Braves and went 4-1.
When you talk about, the Chicago baseball home crowds, you always think of guaranteed.
You think of Rate Field. Yes. You got to drive on the south side through a couple of random neighborhoods that you definitely don't want to stop at very long. A couple of spots that might be good little corner bars and then roll up into the stadium.
Those kids down in Orland Park are loving this. The south side gets, pooped on all the time.
This will be a good test for the folks though, that when you got into Armen, knockout, drag out, Packer Bear discussions. And then when you brought up game 5, they're like, dude, it doesn't matter. I'm a Sox fan.
I'm a Sox fan anyway, so
I'm a
whatever.
Sox fan anyway, dude. It doesn't really matter. I'm really okay. It doesn't
Actually,
really matter.
my grandparents were growing up on the South Side, so I'm more of a Sox guy. So, and the thing is with the White Sox, they're doing it with guys you just don't. At least, even if you've played fantasy,
They're all
football,
really young players.
guys I
Yeah.
haven't heard of. Yeah, the law firm of Colson Montgomery, Sam Antonacci, and Chase Mydroth. So I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
I think
don't know.
Antonacci's going to sell any jerseys down there.
I think he might sell a couple. Yeah,
Holy cow! Sitting over at
Might
Bueno's
be.
having a couple of beef sandwiches. Oh my goodness! Sammy's hitting today.
Because that's
Sammy's hitting 4.
You ask
Sammy Bats.
That's where the old school guys are. We're down on the South Side there, so so it's pretty funny. So, how about that? It's what you love about sports. You never know.
Obvious game ball to Jacob Misiorowski, but what about a game ball to William Contreras for Friday night? In the midst of the dominating performance, now maybe this should have been a kick to the balls, but William Contreras right away taps the chest. I think he was 0 for 2 on challenges.
Yeah.
Because Drew is like, this guy's not missing the zone. I might as well fire him out at some point. He got so disappointed when he lost. He's tapping his chest saying, hey, man, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have broken the mode. I shouldn't have broken the rhythm. I shouldn't have done anything. However, he is as consistent as anything. And his quote after the game was sublime. And this guy's just not any ordinary pitcher. That's not a normal pitcher. He could complete an entire game on just fastballs. And when he's throwing them that hard and with that much late life to him, a late life at 104
right.
Sounds dangerous. I'm not saying he probably couldn't. Like if he went into a game Drew and threw 80% fastballs, I'd still feel pretty
like
confident he's going to figure it out.
Miz, we talk about him must see TV, and we're not kidding because any night he could throw a no hitter, and any inning could be an immaculate inning with 9 pitches and 9 strikeouts. So you just have to watch him. Right now, you have to. It's like that's why. The national dudes and the guys on MLB Network and the Passons of the world and Buster Olney, they're tuned in every time Miz is pitching.
They can't get enough
glued.
of it.
They're glued to it. Like inject it straight into my veins. Jason Stark gets a column out of it, out of him and the Phillies Sanchez going at it.
And I mean, he was 1 pitch away almost from the immaculate inning on Tuesday. In the second inning, he was on an 0-2 count, and Bohm just was able to knock it over to short. And got retired, but otherwise there was 9 strikes and he was 1 pitch away. If that ball misses the bat, he would have had one. Like it's a wild thought to think that whenever he is on the mound, you can't step away and you don't want to get a beer. When you're at the game, and you probably saw this a lot, Drew, is there were more folks waiting until the Brewers were hitting to go to the bathroom.
That's right.
A lot of times, once Miz gets off the mound, I'll go the pretzel and the hot dog for the kiddo.
Yeah,
all right.
It's the opposite. Yeah.
Generally speaking, I had to watch Joey Ortiz strike out with the bases loaded before that happens. Unfair straight to Joey Ortiz.
Oh, hey now.
Now let's give a game ball to Cooper Pratt.
Yes.
And a subsequent game ball to our texter that we just had in Jay and Bayview, who asked, where do you guys think Cooper Pratt is going to be in the batting order? He'll be somewhere near the bottom, I would assume in the 8 or 9 hole. But Drew, the more important thing is I anticipate he's going to be in the order most days, right? Like they're not making the move, and you're not bringing him up here to let him be Blake Perkins of the infield.
You didn't call him up to sit. That was the idea. It's like he's going to play. So my guess is Rengifo gets squeezed and Ortiz moves back to third, where he was productive the first year in Milwaukee.
Hey, if you thought he was good defensively over at shortstop, he should be very, very good over at third.
Glove's going to play, and he's the shortstop of the future. They gave him. There's 80 million reasons to believe they want him to play short. Now, could Cooper Pratt move over to third? Yeah, but he's been playing short, so I think that's the move. He's going to be the shortstop.
Yeah, it feels like if they were going to, Drew, do what you just mentioned and have him play third base, you would have wanted him to play, I don't know, some games in Nashville over at third. Yeah. It didn't look like he ever was tapping himself over onto that spot. And maybe one last gas for Joey Ortiz, whose numbers are definitely better over the last month. As many strays as I've shot towards number 3.
They're getting a little bit better. That's hard to not.
His last 20-some games, his OPS is above 700.
That's good. We got that.
That is a replaceable Major League Baseball player. That's an average starter. So we'll give some kudos there. Yeah, and maybe it does get a little bit better when you don't have to worry about shouldering the load over at short. I don't know how much that matters to your bat in correlation to how much work you're putting in on the defensive side.
We debated that today in the bathroom. Yeah.
But which we sometimes have some of our best debates in the bathroom.
Best debates, yeah.
Not about the bathroom.
No,
still mostly about sports.
About sports, right? Exactly.
We could have a debate about the bathroom every once in a while, and when they're going to put a working paper towel dispenser in there. But kick to the balls of that thing in there. I just wanted to hear Chuck say it. But you wonder if there's last 6 weeks, last 3 weeks, last 5 weeks before they're like, okay, now we're just going to go with the full Nashville Sounds left side of the infield, and we'll run with Williams. It's tough. You can't necessarily do worse offensively than they've gotten out of the shortstop position. But Drew, it's hard to anticipate my man's going to come up here and be a dynamo with the bat, because that's just definitely not been his game.
It'll be an adjustment for sure. And
Let's temper our expectations. We did the same thing when Jackson. Remember that? I don't want.
Not everybody is Churio. Like he drew a walk and stole a bag his first AB, right? His first plate appearance.
Yes, and I think his second one, he got his first base hit in an RBI.
Yeah, he
or
put that to bed right
Yes.
away. Not everybody is Churio though, but it's going to be fun. Let's just enjoy it. Like there's not a lot of pressure. You're coming up, team's rolling.
That's the key.
And he's going to be absorbed. So, final on the way out here, game ball to Pat Murphy. Having his hip issues, can't make the pitching changes, can't even walk out for the handshake line and stuff. He is.
Oh, I know he hates that part.
His mobility has been compromised, and yet he's still grinding through it like the players do. Like I wonder if they give him a Toradol shot or a steroid shot.
One of those scooters,
Yeah.
See, that scooter probably almost makes it worse.
You need a ramp. I don't know that the dugout has a ramp. There's steps, I don't know how accessible it is.
I also think what we need to really do is we need to get him the Phil Jackson on that bench. You got to get him a big puffy chair.
That'd be cool.
I mean, Phil Jackson had the world's largest pad on the chair that he would sit on. So all of a sudden you look over at the bench. Who's this guy levitating? Oh, it's Phil Jackson on the biggest booster seat known to adults. We need to get that for Murph. Maybe that'll take some of that off. Or Drew, we have a place that he could go during the All-Star break if he had to.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin might be able to help out Pat Murphy.
I think he needs to see Dr. Matthew Bong for a consult. He probably already has, but he had the MRI done, and it's been poor guy. It's rough.
That is the worst, dude. And he's just got to be staring it down now.
He's bone on bone with his hip, and is it sciatica? Who knows? But Murph, we're
pulling
thinking
for you, Murph.
Pulling for you. When we come back, Scott Dolphin's going to drop on by for halftime. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Halftime of the Monday edition of the Huddle, game balls and kicks to the balls. We're taking them. NicoletLaw.com, talking text line 877-794-1973. Game ball to our pal Scott Dolphin, our halftime correspondent, for joining us here at headquarters. Hello, Dolph.
Fellas, how was your weekend? All right.
Amazing. Brewers win 2 out of 3. Miz goes crazy. Were you at the game when Miz?
Yeah, I was there Friday night. I was telling the guys in the kitchen, I couldn't believe the atmosphere when he came out for the 9th inning. It rivaled any crowd I've heard in any playoff game I've been to.
Felt like a playoff game.
It really did.
His starts are events now. Like it's a no-hitter. Like every year, you hold your breath till he gives up a hit. I still think an immaculate inning is going to happen one of these times where he gets 9 pitches, 9 strikes. He's close.
Yeah, I love when Harper said he's a different animal. You just don't see guys like that. He said, I'm glad we got to face him just to see what he's all about.
That's
because if we see him in the playoffs, you know?
I always
After
feel like
they ripped him last year.
Yeah, that's true. I always feel like the dynamic pricing in the secondary market is going to start catching up, where those tickets will start costing more. Like people will follow it and they're like, oh, this is a mid start, it's going to cost more. You know,
I think you're right.
It's going to be interesting to see that.
It is a win when you see him on the line. Now I saw that they bumped him back a day, as they said, pre-planned, couple of built-in rest days. That he'll pitch in the Brave series. Him and Harrison will be back to back. So misses a home start to have another start against an NL team. It's also unique because you do have to be somewhat careful as how much you're working him, right? Like I know that he's so good that you almost forget, all right, he is in his second year in the big leagues. There was always a time for a long period of baseball lives where it was like, you can only go up 34 innings from a year ago. All right, now we're not going to let him tax that arm too much. I think with modern science and how good the arm comes out after potentially a procedure,
you're right.
They're not as worried. But Dolph, it's like, can we budget and limit him, even though he just ran 27 up, 27 down against a team that's got a couple of all-stars and maybe a Hall of Famer?
I think it's important to baby him just a little bit. Like you said, second year, 23, 24 years old. Almost like a Norman Rockwell painting. It just goes to show you, you can't put a lot of stock in 5 stars or guys that can't miss, because then you got a guy like Miz who nobody really knew about in high school, right? He was getting 0 offers out of high school, goes to a junior college to pitch.
Yeah. Goes to a JUCO and then was going to join Skeens at LSU.
Oh my gosh.
And then the Brewers came a knocking.
That
would have been incredible.
What was his hometown? It was like something right out of a sitcom.
He's right outside of Kansas City.
Yeah, I remember the name was like so folksy, small town USA.
I'll find it.
Something,
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Something village, or I can't remember, but it was a great hometown.
He went to Grand Valley High School.
Grain Valley. That's what it is.
Grain Valley,
Blue Springs, Missouri.
Blue Springs he was born.
Yeah, and Grain Valley High.
He grew up in Grain Valley, Missouri.
Gotta love that.
I'm down by the grain combines and stuff, all that type of thing.
Well,
it's
and
amazing.
His senior year of high school was wiped out because of COVID, so it's like that. He had that going for him. So
I saw
lots of stuff.
The Brewer scout, and I can't remember his name, who discovered him, but said he's throwing in high school. He was throwing maybe 90 to 93 miles an hour, and thinking this guy's going to throw over 100, and it's probably not going to be too far away when he does it.
Well, and crazy that they got him and Ashby both out of the same community college in Missouri.
I didn't know that.
It works out with a pair of their best arms. They got at the same spot, and being able to forecast that, I don't know how. I mean, maybe it's the extension. Maybe it's just, you see enough baseball and you know how they're going to develop. But he has a quality the Murph called it, Forrest Gump-like, where he's just learning so much of it. Dolph, he has this like innate ability. He's like, I throw hard, but I don't know. Maybe I can throw harder. Like, I might be able to throw harder. I don't really know. Like when he goes on McAfee, it's hilarious because he's like, how much faster could you throw? He goes, I don't know. I'm going to see. I'm going to try. I'm going to keep throwing hard and see.
We
how
say
it works.
Athletes peak at 27. He ain't there yet.
That's crazy.
And they put on, they talked about how he worked his legs this year. Like, Dolph, you and I were old enough to remember when Nolan Ryan was blowing smoke past guys. And that's what it feels like, kind of. Like, just like, you got no chance.
Yeah.
It was all smoke.
But Nolan Ryan was, you look at his numbers, they're checkered somewhat. Like, they're not.
Well, he had a lot of walks. If you go back, he issued a lot of walks. Sometimes it's hard to control. And that's been the biggest change for Miz this year, right? Consistently is the control he's been able to have with the zone. Because when he got in trouble last year for that portion of the season, it was the control, and so what he can do is it reminds me of that. And you said Nolan, even when like Dwight Gooden came up, Drew, I mean, kind of unhittable, that type of thing. So
yeah, Nolan Ryan was penalized because of walks and his team success. Nolan Ryan is the second best pitcher to never win a Cy Young award. You know who the best pitcher is?
I'm trying to think.
Cy Young.
There he is.
Hey now. I got you.
That's such an old baseball press box.
It's a great baseball dad
is.
joke.
Yeah, it's my young reporter comes in. We'll tell him the joke. Tell him
There
the
you
joke,
go.
Tom.
There you
So
go.
could we say that is the best coach in NFL history to not win, or Super Bowl winning coach to not win a Lombardi trophy would be Lombardi?
Right.
There you go.
There we go. We got another one. We
So
can
get-
drop that thing in there.
Good one.
You always hear sports records that'll never be broken, and people bring up, Ted Williams and the hitting streaks.
Yeah.
Cy Young's record will never be broken. What is it, Drew? How many wins did he have?
511.
500 wins.
That's the one.
He would pitch both ends of a doubleheader on a Sunday
When
afternoon.
people ask you about that, that's the one. Like, in theory, I think someone could break 56, even though it's going to be super, super
Yeah.
rare.
Nah.
Nobody ever will break 500.
I don't think anybody's breaking 56.
I don't either, but
And no
you know
one's
what?
breaking Ripken's 21 whatever.
No, not anymore.
Oh, guys have
no,
gotten
no
closer.
chance.
Guys have gotten closer. Let me just say that. Like,
Yep.
like, yeah.
All right, so Dolph, with the nation's 250th birthday, you're old enough to remember the bicentennial. That was a big deal back in our youth.
My hometown had a beard growing contest. That's what I remember most about the bicentennial.
About the 76?
Hold on.
Yeah.
And there was a kid that was a year older than me that actually grew a freaking beard.
This was before everybody had the
Jerk.
lumberjack look going, But for now, it's like the beards are.
I'd have had no
Everywhere.
chance. I just
But-
got
I
the patchiest, nastiest little
But
thing.
here's the thing. I just found this out over the weekend in honor of the nation's 250th. And what's more American than baseball, hot dogs, Chevrolet, and apple pie. McDonald's
pie.
bringing back the apple pie. The hot apple pie is coming back to McDonald's as a snack next week.
It's iconic.
Have you guys endured the thrill of burning your mouth on that lava? The hottest thing
Many a
known
time.
to man
Yep.
was the McDonald's apple pie.
Yeah, it was always the highlight of my trip to McDonald's, that and the quarter pounder with cheese when I was a frequent visitor before. You get to a certain age,
Right
you
sandwich,
can't,
too,
you can't
Dolph.
pack away the McDonald's as much as you used to.
But the quarter pounder with cheese is one of the better sandwiches of all time.
It is.
And I've had this debate with people that are Big Mac folks. Congratulations, the sauce is nice. Otherwise, there's just a wasted piece of bread in there and two
Agreed.
thin pieces of meat.
Overrated burger.
The
I totally agree.
quarter pounder with cheese is
Sorry.
always going to hit. Always going to work. And the apple pie, the worst thing is I would eat it first, knowing it's going to burn your mouth.
Nice.
However,
Real nice.
you're so disappointed when once again they told you the shake machine was out and the ice cream machine was not working. I
Right.
guess I'll have a apple pie.
Whatever happened to that kid that had the app going with all the ice cream machines? Like which ones were working at McDonald's and what
Oh,
McDonald's
yeah.
locations?
Forgot about
Find that on FlightAware.
I don't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't find. Okay, Billy's making jokes about me with FlightAware. That's a good one. I texted everyone of whatever. Just it's not even funny. All right, whatever. I did a screenshot of a flight yesterday going, which I thought was exciting because it was Quinn Priester's dad's aviation company. And I'm like, I'm sorry, this has no scoop interest to anybody else, but just thought it was.
I'm
whatever.
glad that you just outed your son. Nobody
Just whatever.
made you tell that.
Well, you brought it up. All right, it was. Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking
Well
for that
played.
app to work, and sorry. For
Well, maybe
grinding.
it'll hit. Maybe it'll hit. Maybe
Sorry
it'll
for
work.
Grinding the show to a halt.
At
here.
some point they'll find one, and at some point McDonald's will have one that doesn't break. The apple pie so much better than the strawberry. What did they come out? They've fired up a couple of different
Yeah,
random
cherry for
kinds.
sure,
The
right?
cherry one.
No.
Quick Trip has tried to have the pies. Now Quick Trip doesn't miss with a whole lot of things. And I'm not saying that their snack pies are awful. It's just not going to match up to
Okay, I haven't
the
had
hot
this.
pocket of dessert.
Is
But
it
they have
under
the
the heat
laser.
lamp or how does this work?
No,
it's just a.
no, it's just kind of there.
Yeah, it's just kind of there. There's the little
Snack
cheapo,
pie.
The little, yeah.
Every once in a while, when I fill up the car with gas on the way home, Drew will get me a strawberry cream pie.
Yeah.
And there's only so much that you can.
Pause.
It's only so good that it can be without being warmed up
Yeah.
and scolding hot
Listen,
like the apple pie.
And you don't need to because when you go to Quick Trip, you got glazers, dunkers. You have so many different things.
They got a lot of
Persons-
That's true.
I love
Mini
the Persons.
tacos, those hash brown
Oh,
sticks.
Come on now.
Those chocolate
Tacos.
peanut butter Rice Krispie
Yeah.
treats.
Yeah,
The egg roll.
Have you had the pumpkin squares?
I haven't
Oh
had
my
that.
God.
What? Okay, Dolph.
come on.
Now we're
Fantastic.
talking.
Yeah, it's
They
fantastic.
also have if you're careful and you get it at the right time, they have a little discount bakery section too sometimes, which I love. All right, I love to get those left over.
My problem is where I live on the south side of Milwaukee.
There's not that
Armen
many.
knows it. I'm in a Quick Trip food desert.
Yeah, 27th in college is our closest.
It is. 27th in college is the closest Quick Trip to my
Yeah,
house.
that's the one.
Because I think to this day, the city of Milwaukee has 0 Quick Trips, right? Or do they have one by now?
That's the closest one, and there's none in the city limits, although there's like 9 or 10 in Milwaukee County. So the toughest thing for me.
Well, and there's
when
9 or 10 on every exit between my house and like Racine or Waukesha County or Ozaki County, too.
Well, 27th and I'm sorry, is it Ryan? There's like maybe not Ryan. There's 2 of them back to back.
There's 27th and Ryan has them. Yeah, Oak Creek. Yeah.
The tough thing about it is when I moved, I don't have a quick trip on the way to work anymore. I used to have that in the way to work, and now that I don't,
that's sweet.
You know?
Well, it was always customary if it was your birthday at work, you'd bring donuts, and I always had a couple different places on my drive-in, but then they just went away. Honey Dip Donuts used to be on the south side on my way in. Yeah,
good spot.
They always threw a couple extra in for me. I noticed that.
Honey Dip was the place.
We went there in college plenty of times.
Oh yeah, Honey Dip was sweet. So for folks, the clarification, people are like, oh, they never stopped serving the apple pie. They've been the baked apple pies. These are the fried ones.
Oh yes,
These are the fried ones that are and with the molten lava inside. The molten lava filling that would burn not only just your mouth, your face, your chin, and you had to eat it. It was like, when you've couple of milligrams in and you fire up that pizza coming out of the oven.
I was just gonna say,
hot. I mean,
out of the 3 on the multiple choice, the apple pie, the frozen pizza, or the hot pocket, the ham and cheese hot pocket that you threw in, which has claimed more souls?
Well, frozen pizza got me all the time. Yep, the pizza bump, and then that pain stays with you for like a week.
I think, you know what though, that hot pocket, you always think it's cooled down and it's not. Like no matter what.
Always thought you had a chance at it.
Yeah. I think just because I have that less often is the one I don't think about. But I think it is the hot pocket, Billy.
If you're yearning for days of yesteryear in a hot pocket, that Costco chicken bake is a decent little substitute of what the hot pocket used to be. Because the hot pocket was that was a thing that we were always cracking for breakfast.
David in Oregon wants to know Oregon. I don't know. Anybody had that Mountain Dew dunker yet? Is that a real?
No, it is real, but people are talking about that.
Drew, that seems up your alley more than a 300 game in bowling. No,
I'm Diet Mountain Dew. Diet Mountain Dew all the way right.
Are you saying because the flavoring's not diet? Like,
yeah, because that's too strong for me. I'm not into Mountain Dew. I'm into the Diet Mountain Dew. I couldn't even the unleaded is not for me anymore.
Too much. Yeah, that's too much.
Aged out of that.
Like that.
My palate has evolved.
But the donut might not taste all the way like.
I don't know.
It's sort of like when I picked up the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Bacon that one day. And now Johnsonville has the Dr. Pepper brats.
Yes.
I don't think it's like a full flavor, so it's just enough to make you think about
taste of it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued, but I don't like it when they try to combine food into. Although I'll say this, chips are good. Your salty snacks, they do a little better with they have beer flavored chips and
buffalo wing flavor.
Right. Yeah. They do a good job with it. But when it comes to
sweets and savory,
putting soda flavors in
that one I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know if I'll roll there. They did the pink lemonade dunker, and I was extremely skeptical. It was decent.
Good?
Yeah. It was decent. It wasn't great, but it was decent.
But you got to try. If we don't try,
because the blueberry dunker is just too good to mess with.
But if we don't try it, how are we going to progress as a society?
Drew, you can't have a diet Mountain Dew flavored dunker.
Can't. No.
Well,
I agree.
You could
get that diety aftertaste in your donut.
Drew likes that. Donut. Drew likes that.
That's right.
Sucralose and fake sugar.
What?
It was years back. They changed the recipe of Diet Mountain Dew, and I got pissed. But then I just adapted to it.
Diet Mountain Dew.
What are you gonna do?
Weren't able to force the change like when they tried to change Coke, when they changed the Reese's, and now the grandson of the Reese's family, they're making the cups like my granddaddy finally made again.
That's right.
That's not the taste that we grew up love. We shouldn't have sold the company.
I have eaten more Reese's than anybody over the last 25 years.
Drew just mentioned when they changed Coca-Cola, the frickin' world revolted. It was. I've never seen anything like it.
That was massive.
That was the first viral protest thing. Yeah.
Some genius decided to change the most recognizable brand in the world and change the flavor. Yep. And it was not as good.
They had to go back to Coke Classic because it was just embarrassing.
Right. It was.
So was Pepsi already in there just being able to capitalize on this, or in the revolt where they just
Pepsi was pushing them? I think Pepsi was like Pepsi had like a hot moment with it. The Pepsi generation.
Pepsi generation. It started to eat up market.
Michael Jackson was big into Pepsi, but then they made it taste like Pepsi, kind of, and they made it sweeter. It didn't have that burn that it used to have. It was a major disaster.
Well, there's a lot of people that think this is one of the early conspiracy theories, that was a work, that they did that just to get people to want regular Coke again and then save their company. When people start to flood, they change the recipe back to classic.
Look at that tinfoil hat theory.
Flushing, right? Drew, isn't that the whole thing? But I don't know if I believe it. I mean, I wasn't alive either for it. I don't know. It's like 80s, right? Early 80s?
I think it was probably
I think you were
mid
80s.
I was already in radio.
Maybe
I know
I was alive then maybe, but I wasn't conscious for it.
85.
Okay.
But it was a big thing. It's like, you got to get Coke Classic. Don't get Coke 2.
So that would be the version of when folks go to Mexico and they're like, you need to have the Coke that we have down here. Yeah. Sorry, not that kind of Coke.
Yeah, Mexican Coke.
You can get it at every Milwaukee area
Yes.
pick and save in the glass bottle.
Yeah. But that was the
Mexican
original.
Coke.
That was the original like frozen envelope conspiracy theory, like the NBA draft.
Because when that was the one thing that everybody would want to bring back from Sunburn Bowl was, listen, we were having the real Coca-Cola down there. You guys don't even understand what this stuff
really
that
is.
and that big old sombrero that didn't fit in the overhead.
That's fair.
That's right. So it was 85, and it lasted 77 days until they had to reissue Classic Coke because of the outcry.
I was going to say a little longer.
71 days longer than the
Marquette Gold. and they kept the new formulation on the shelves, like in the back burner, and they made it until 2000. They called it Coke 2. And
I
then
don't
they
remember
discontinued
that.
it in
Coke
July of
2, Electric
2000.
Boogaloo?
Yes.
2002, but it was hard to find. But Coke 2
Yes,
was
my
the
buddy-
new
My
formulation.
buddy's dad was buying Coke too. I'm like, nobody wants that.
That's an epic fail. I'm trying to think of what would rival that. I don't think anything comes close. Does
No,
it?
that's one of the classics, one of the all-timers.
It's so fun.
But yeah, so they're going back to the fried apple pie, which is where you burned your mouth, not the baked one. That's
No, the baked one had no problem.
There's
It was just there.
Yeah, there's no crisp to it.
Yeah, this was
Correct.
that's the one.
I'll still eat it.
Dolph, thank you for popping in. Appreciate it.
All right, fellas.
As
Have a good one.
always, it's always a good halftime update. Hunter Baumgart's going to join us an hour from right now, roughly.
Cannot wait.
Less
Let's
than an
go.
hour. We'll talk of Brewers, Phillies. Brewers off today. Cooper Pratt era starts on Tuesday night as they take on the Guardians. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It is a hot take game balls and kicks to the balls day here on Monday. That's what we do.
We got to give a kick to the balls to Armen for just saying that people watch the
I
Mets.
don't think it's that crazy. All right. If you look at,
Yeah, they were.
didn't Jets and Mets fans watch the Nets? Was
Not
that the whole,
really,
was
no.
that the whole like Islanders?
Nah.
They already paying themselves enough. They had to watch the Jets and the Mets.
in
Why would they
Jersey.
watch the Nets too?
Well,
The
just
Nets,
'cause
the
that's
biggest
what they
games the
did.
Nets played at Brendan Byrne Arena was when the Knicks came in.
Amen. Yes.
That's it. The Knicks are the
I know, but okay. yes.
much like the Knicks have a hold on New York, kind of the way that the Suns do in Phoenix. If you go to Phoenix, like there's Diamondbacks, and there's a few Cardinals fans, a lot of transplants, a lot of Cubs fans, a lot of Brewers people, but the Suns, like they're the OG team. They've
You're
been there
locked in
since
on that,
'68.
yep.
Like that, the Suns made Phoenix a major league city. And so the allegiance there, that is the one ride or die. If you ask most residents of Phoenix, which team do you want to win the title? It's the Suns.
And if you go through, like, you go to Phoenix and you're like, oh, I'm here in the middle of March.
So-
I'm going to go see a game, or middle of April. I'm going to go see a game. Much harder ticket is any Suns ticket compared to anything else. Football stadium
And
included.
to your point, Armen, like there isn't divided loyalty. Like when the Yankees win a World Series, Mets fans like, kind of like Cubs, White Sox, right? It's like,
Sure, they have their
so
team. Yeah.
the Jets, like the Giants win, and Jets fans are like, oh, screw them. You know, I would wait for the Jets to win. When the Jets win, it'll be epic celebration if they ever get off the schneid. But the Knicks kind of have that undivided. Like even the Rangers, there's Islanders fans, and they have their history.
The Devils.
But they're not. There's
All
no
right.
split there when it comes to basketball. It is the Knicks. Like 95% Knicks fans.
You
and
could tell
5%
just
Nets
you could just tell from the celebrations outside of MSG and throughout all of the different boroughs of New York. As somebody that's never been to New York, you could tell it was an intoxicating visual to see that many people in a spot that otherwise you think is rather divided and frustrated and angry all the time.
That's true.
To be able to celebrate and have that kind of glow and glory. They've also like gone from, and maybe it's a strangest comparison because it's the smallest market in the league to the biggest market in the league. You could almost find the kindred spirits of, there was a large moment in my life where the Knicks were an absolute laughingstock. I mean, they get Carmelo Anthony, and that was the most relevant they had been for a large portion of my life. Outside of Jeremy Lin's like 14-game run, it was not cool to watch the Knicks. It was like, all right, who's playing the Knicks on ABC? And that's why it's going to be a nationally televised game. Now they're the Kings of New York, the Stars. They're on Good Morning America. And I also think there's a crazy likability for a group that has been as knocked down and doubted as they have. Obviously, Brunson's the one, but I'm looking at Cat right now, looking super cool in those shades.
He does, yeah.
He's the number one overall pick, and I don't know that there's ever been one outside of Anthony Bennett that's been as universally dunked on as
He's been
Cat.
dunked on, questioned plenty about it, his ability to actually be that guy and take a team over, help a team to take a team over the top. You know, so that absolutely a lot of those guys have been maligned in that sense. You know, how many people clown them for trading all those picks for Bridges? You know, and then they're on the stage like those picks don't matter now, or what was that?
Josh Hart, forget them picks.
Hart, forget them picks. That's what it was. And thank goodness for him, because somebody gave a good soundbite. In the post game, I'm waiting for somebody to say something. Everyone was silent. I understand they're exciting, but they couldn't get any words out. I'm like, somebody give me a soundbite. Somebody. Finally
we mentioned, at least I think Giannis probably doesn't enjoy watching that finals, knowing that he no longer can go be a Knick.
Well,
right, like they're not interested now.
Maybe he's thinking I could go team up with Wemby.
Maybe Wemby, maybe a Jason Tatum getting sniffed on into the ecosystem. Drew, we are now into full Giannis season, and the biggest story in all of sports over the next week and a half until this happens. I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Giannis is the number one story in sports until this resolution comes, and it feels like it's coming faster than ever.
It's coming. We think it is, yes. 877-794-1973.
And finally, some appropriate trade packages I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Finally, a little bit
bit.
less of the insulting offers, and I'm starting to be a little bit more intrigued with what I'm seeing.
Move forward with that. Yeah, we'll discuss that. Hunter Baumgardt joins us at 7:25. Got some awards to give out as well. We're glad you're hanging out with us. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. New week with the Brewers still looking down from the top of the standings.
And a drive into left. Park has left the building.
Jeff Levering on the call on Brewers TV. The Crew blanked the Phillies 4-0 at American Family Field. Entering play this week, Milwaukee has a 5-game lead over St. Louis. The Crew off today. They'll open up a 3-gamer with the Guardians tomorrow night at American Family Field. Sunday at the World Cup, the Netherlands and Japan play to a 2-2 draw. Germany beats up on Curacao 7-1 as the Ivory Coast blanking Ecuador 1-0. Sweden over Tunisia 5-1. And on the ice, the hockey season comes to an end.
And they're going to clinch it appropriately. And a shutout. The Carolina Hurricanes have won the Stanley Cup for the second time.
Final score 3-0. The Hurricanes win the Cup in 6 games. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the board got to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Monday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, broadcasting live on AM 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Drew Olson, Bill Schmidt, Armen Sarian, your 3 Musketeers, bringing it to you. Your Monday Musketeers. Shout out to everybody who's holed over from the 5 o'clock club, you 6 o'clock risers. And now folks who are getting after it here at 7 o'clock. We got Hunter Baumgardt coming up in about 25 minutes to talk Brewers as they take a day off today and winning a series against the Phillies. Only losing in the nationally televised game Saturday. But I mean, I didn't get to talk to him again. I'm 0-for, but Ken Rosenthal, friend of the program, was patrolling the sidelines. I don't know if he bumped into Scott Paulus or not.
ran him over again.
I didn't get to talk to Junior, but that game on Saturday was the longest game of the weekend with the extra time built in for some commercial spots. You kind of noticed it was lagging a little bit. They were waiting. Like everybody's okay, we got to wait. And the extra, whatever it is, 30 seconds an inning added up.
Link Grindle was ticked. He was calling.
Plus, it was a 9-8 affair. Chad Patrick didn't pitch well. Had that blow up where they put up a 5 spot. But Brewers played. It was a good series. Other than that, other than the blip. 2 shutout wins, Miz throwing incredibly, and then Kyle Harrison throwing pretty well.
And that one might be, I mean, hard to say anything's going to overshadow what Miz did on Friday night, but Harrison shoving against Sanchez, Drew, that's one of the bigger and more impressive and important ones out of the year, because the last thing you needed anybody to do was take anything from that weekend series in Vegas, or the week series in Vegas, and now what happened over the weekend and what the Rockies just did, even more emphasized. Get yourself to sea level, and Kyle Harrison, throw 80 pitches, absolutely dominate, and get yourself right back at it.
And by the way, you mentioned it. 23-9. Yesterday, the Rockies scoring the most runs in franchise history. They play at Coors Field.
They play at Coors Field, yes.
And 23-9, because that was the day game, 101-degree temperatures, 23-9.
And to me, that's the smoking gun now, that if anyone wants to hang Harrison with that performance, what the situation was out there. You don't have to worry about it, because you know that was a complete aberration.
Well, and it's a good trial balloon for Las Vegas, right? They're like, okay, so we're never going to be able to open that roof, probably. We're not opening that roof once they put that thing at the trial.
In that game, in the single game, 32 runs, 39 hits, 19 extra base hits, and total bases 76, all the highest in a single game for the season. And it's going to be hard to top that.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to beat. Now, I do look at this just because I'm kind of evil and sick. I did want to make sure there wasn't anybody that walked up there and didn't have a hit. Everybody that started for the Rockies got a hit.
Because
could you imagine? Well, that would have been a great who's not.
Yeah, that would have been
when
great.
you start hanging out with our friends from Donovan Jorgensen, Heating and Cooling, and let everybody know who had a great weekend, who had a not so great weekend. If there would have been one poor devil, and Drew, that would have been the real poor devil award.
Yep.
If you roll in there and your team has 24 hits and you didn't get to join the party, I mean, talk about the Squidward meme in real life of watching all your friends go and play, and you got to sit up here and not. That sucks.
That's the one where you hope nobody like thinks about it. Like, oh boy, I put a collar on. I hope nobody thinks about that to actually see who the one was. Also, there's a little bit of pressure on you if you're not a hitter. Like, boy, I better get my only hit here. Like, I better only get my only dinger. If I'm going to get one, it's got to be in this park. So maybe you press a little bit too. But yeah, I think that's the smoking gun. And the thing about Harrison this weekend as well, we're talking about Kyle Harrison. If it wasn't for what Miz has been doing this year, we'd be talking about him every game. So you want to give Kyle Harrison his props when we can, because what he's done is incredible. And had a great game yesterday. Blake Perkins helping out Miz a little bit in that Cy Young race, which I think is shaping up to be a Miz versus Sanchez type deal. So that was good to see yesterday.
That's true. You can get us 877-794-1973. Game balls, kicks. Billy, we need a Current Electric superhero, and it's pretty easy. I've got two in mind. I'm sure I think we're on the same page for these two.
Kyle Harrison and Jacob Misiorowski.
Well, I was thinking I was going to go Miz and Jalen Brunson.
Oh, I like that one. As long as it's not Jordan Stahl, I love it.
Yeah, well, he's up there.
He's up there. Conn Smythe winner. Yeah. The Hurricanes won. Congratulations, Aaron. Carolina. That's awesome.
Nasty,
you went down with your Knights.
Down with the ship every single one of these games, dude. And it's pretty cool. Carter Hart actually did do what I asked him maybe, and then try to institute a different game plan on Friday, Drew. Not give up 4 goals.
He didn't do it.
See if that worked. He didn't give up 4.
Yeah, he didn't.
Let alone, apparently, the Knights just decided to not score and had 1-2-3 Cancun. Anyway, Brunson, the third most points in a closeout game in the finals, behind the great Bob Pettit and Giannis Antetokounmpo with the 46. He's absolutely a hero of the day. And he might be a hero of every single day for the folks in New York. And, like the blue and orange is synonymous with New York. The Current Electric superheroes are synonymous with providing great work and also saving folks from the storms that are barreling through the area. We might be potentially having some more coming up this weekend, during the week. So if you're looking at an electric standby generator, go and check out the friends at Current Electric. They're superheroes. They'll help you out. They'll also let you know there's some ways that your roof can be making some money for you with this new solar energy. I'm like the oldest millennial possible, Drew. I don't know how to really work the internet. I'm very, very poor on computers. Yeah. And I'm not in on the crypto game like my man Armen Sarian. I didn't know much about the solar game, but they're helping. They're teaching me some things over at Current Electric, and there's some ways that thing can be helping you out. So go to callcurrent.com. And the Jalen Brunson hero arc, unlike a whole lot in sports, there haven't been a whole lot. I saw some people compare him to a Russell Wilson as somebody that was doubted and ended up winning.
Interesting.
But Russell, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't think they won any of those games because of Russell Wilson.
Well,
they won those games because of the defense and Russell Wilson not throwing a 6th pick against the Packers in the NFC title game.
Yeah, no one's going to look back and give credit to Russell in that regard. I think that's the part of it is when people look back as Russell Wilson, they'll say he overcame a lot of obstacles to become a Super Bowl champion, more than we thought he'd be. Obviously, he's a star, made a lot of money, but he didn't single-handedly bring them to a title the way it seemed Jalen Brunson did. And that's what makes him also my hero one more time for allowing me that moment to have that another memory of Giannis's game 6 in the midst of what was going to be an uncomfortable time for all Giannis lovers and Bucks fans like me that don't want to see what's about to happen here. And it's going to happen probably. Don't want to experience it. At least thank you for that final memory of, when I'm watching Jalen, Laura and I are sitting on the couch, I'm like, this is what it felt like to watch Giannis down the stretch in game 6. Just had
every shot,
everything on his back, making every shot, every free throw, doing everything he could for every moment. It was like if there was ever a personification of we're on your back, this is on you all the way, bring us to the promised land, drag everybody with you. Jalen was doing it the same way Giannis did. And he's in that breath now with those guys, with the numbers, whatever you mentioned. It was amazing to see and amazing to have that memory. And then the emotional damage of saying, wow, that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago. And now
emotional damage. I can't believe it. It feels to me, we've talked about how it can feel like 100 years ago and it can feel like yesterday all at the same time. That's how it felt for me, Bill.
Well, and now you're in with the next 8 days leading up to the self-imposed deadline by Jimmy Haslam for the Bucks to make the move with Giannis.
That's right.
How's it sitting that he's the two places that he's rumored to possibly go are the two greatest foes the Bucks had in his entire 13 years here?
Yeah, basically.
Like,
the
Raptors they've tried to enter the chat a couple of different times. You could say the Raptors, where they played them twice in the postseason, but it was definitely the Celtics and Heat that I feel like they had the biggest knockout dragouts with, and the ones that the most bad blood was between, and those are the two landing spots. That's just it's the strangest feeling going into it, because it's been such a long time coming, and then now the Celtics running down the entrance ramp. Although their package might be better, and I'm wondering exactly if I'm feeling like Jaylen Brown might be a nice little piece in Milwaukee, or if you're moving him off and trying to find more stuff. Like this is going to be a lot of conversation and a lot of perspective deals over the next week plus.
Yeah, it is weird knowing, like, I'd rather have him pretty much like the lesser of two evils to me is going to the Heat. But then again, the package from the Celtics would be better, I'd say. But like Simmons said it, and I was like, all right, that's Bill Simmons. But then one Mark Stein confirmed the report that the Giannis to Boston noise is getting louder and louder. Boy, I mean, that's emotional damage.
That would hurt.
To see him in a Celtic uniform, I don't know, man.
Then I still think this is a 3, if not 4 team deal, and the Bucks would flip either like Jaylen Brown or Tyler Hero or somebody to Atlanta and then grab somebody and like picks. And
the big ones throughout the weekend were that the third team rumored in here is either going to be Atlanta or Portland, and Portland would be an intriguing one with Brown, potentially being a trailblazer and being the leading star there. You'd most likely at that point be getting your own picks back, which would give you a chance to suck and then
that's a little draft day. I want my picks back.
I want my picks back because we're about to be awful, and we want to be able to hopefully cash in, and maybe we can get lucky and win the lottery. Maybe that one comes back with Jeremy Grant, Scoot Henderson. You can move off Jeremy Grant. There's a big package there. I like the Orlando package if indeed you're getting Paolo back. I think that's the best one. I don't know that
I don't think they're trading Paolo.
I don't think they're trading Paolo. And I also don't know that Atlanta's giving you Jalen Johnson. It seems like you're getting Risha Shea and maybe a couple more picks back. So
yeah, because all these teams, if they want to get Giannis to build with him, they don't want to give up what.
But those ones, Giannis is going to Boston.
Well, yeah,
in those ones, Giannis is going to Boston or he's going to Miami. I don't think Giannis is even sniffing around going to Portland or Atlanta. He has decided that he wants to either go to South Beach and live the life that he's always dreamed of, and more power to you, state income tax, go and enjoy it in South Beach, or he wants to roll up to Boston and try to join that squad and take Jason Tatum and company to way more titles. I don't think this is going to be a situation where you're sending him somewhere else. He's quietly putting, I think, very much his thumb on the scales and let you know, these are the places I'm going.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, because the story was always from the Bucks, like, if any team gets us, we're going to gut them like a fish and make sure we get the best and all that stuff. So I hope the return is something decent if we're going to have to do this, And
Tommy and Salas said it. Giannis wanting to go to the Celtics. Now, the Heat one I don't agree with, but the Heat one is just you want to go live in Miami. Like, because nobody's seeing that Miami team saying, oh, that seems a title contender.
I don't think so either, but you never know.
But you go to the Celtics, again, they were the odds-on favorite to win the East, and then they got upset in round number 1. Giannis wanted to go to the Celtics like KD bailing on OKC to go to Golden State. If you can't beat them, join them type of thing. Be kind of weak, if you ask me.
Yeah, but he did beat him once. Well,
he beat him once.
They didn't beat the Celtics in that run. I guess.
Yeah, they didn't.
But I'm saying he won the title once, I guess is my point. So if you can't beat him, join him. I mean, the Celtics didn't win either this year. They kind of had an unceremonious exit. And that KD thing was also like a free agent. I don't know. It's not exactly the same. But I get it. It's more comfortable for people to make Giannis a villain. That's okay. That's what some people want to do. And then time will heal all. The hero villain arc is just.
So there's no villainness in this to you?
Well, there's a little bit of villainous because I don't want him to leave a little bit, but I'm not going to begrudge him his idea of like, all right, well, it seems like everyone's basically getting me out of here and I want to win. So, and that's partly on him. You know, but
more than a little partly.
Okay, but is he going to give assurances to these teams he's going to sign the Supermax, the extension? That's the other
He
question.
has to.
I was going to.
Otherwise, teams won't pull the trigger unless
agree.
they get that kind of gentleman's agreement. Like, yeah, we're signing that in October, 275. Let's go.
He might not say you can only trade me to these two teams, but I think they can say these are the two teams that I will sign the extension with, and that's the only way you're making this deal. Right, like, I don't see anybody making the Kawhi Leonard deal here.
I hear you. Yeah.
I don't see Portland giving you Scoot Henderson and plus to try and grab Giannis without the assurance, because there's been a lot of places that maybe you would have thought he would be interested in going, or that they would be interested in grabbing him.
Oklahoma City,
and they've been silent. Yeah. Oklahoma City's not doing it. Houston is the one that everybody had him penciled to, and I mean their season got burner accounted by KD and him talking nasty about everybody else.
Absolutely,
they went up in flames and they don't want him. So like there's a weird humblingness to this because he is, and the elephant in the room, the one that we haven't wanted to talk about, which is tough for the Bucks fans to look at. The prime of your athletic career is 27. He's 31 and has injury questions over the last 3 or 4 years, and then owed the $270 million contract. It does seem like there are some teams that are betting the under. That's why I'm surprised the Celtics are in it. In all seriousness, I am kind of surprised that Brad Stevens is like, you know what, this is too bad for where we're at. I don't want to watch us shoot 63s again and not be able to get to the cup. We're going to go press the button and the easy button and try to get Giannis and see if we can jumpstart this.
Well, that was
again.
Always your question is what team will be more desperate enough to make a move. And maybe that's them. I mean, maybe it is them that feel the desperation and say, we're just going to try. Or maybe it won't turn out this way. I mean, a lot of times things will surprise us. We didn't expect Dame to happen. No one knew about it. We didn't expect Miles Turner to happen. No one knew about it. So maybe there'll be another surprise in the offing here that we just don't expect.
How rocked up are you going to be if all of a sudden the alert from Shams comes in that it's actually a Ja Morant trade and the Bucks are getting
keeping Giannis,
and he's going to sign an extension.
Right, Billy. That's right, Billy. G's moving silence, and Horst has been that to his point in his career. So maybe it's time for Giannis to go and he will get traded. But to this point, all we've seen is no, we're adding and we're going to surprise.
Would you be cool if they added without the assurance that he's re-signing?
I think I'd choose that.
If you know that you're getting one more year of Giannis, but then you know that he's walking into unrestricted free agency and he gets to pick whatever situation he walks into.
Yeah, it's a risk I think I'm willing to take because I deep down playing chicken with him don't believe he's not going to sign the biggest extension just to get that money locked in. And that's my I'd be all right with that. I'd have to take that right now at this point. Although it might not be smart. That might be like the kid getting the bike he wants, knowing the next, 5 years of saving the money is not what he wants,
The Ja Morant thing is interesting because of Taylor Jenkins. And it's like, there's just, that is.
It's a little Motel 6. We'll leave the light on for you.
A little bit
right?
like had they given Terry Stotts the job and turned him loose with Dame.
Well, who knows what could happen?
Dame suddenly,
our lives could be different.
Might have enjoyed Milwaukee a little bit more.
What would have been different? Yeah.
But if both of those guys stay healthy, you don't know what could have happened because I still believe they're one of the better teams in the East if both of those guys stay healthy. And the numbers would indicate that they were much better than the vibe felt like.
You're so correct on that, Billy. That's the thing people like to.
But they were just not the same team defensively. That's the other part of it. Like there's a lot of they could score, but there was a taking turns kind of thing in a team that had a second round exit somewhat written all over it. It felt like, but. We'll see.
Will D says Orlando is the best offer. Well, if I know what that is, maybe.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
It's speculation.
Let's spin through a little who's hot, who's not. Brought to us by Donovan Jacobson Heating and Cooling. Like I had the air conditioning on for a little bit this and then it became cool again. But you're gonna need air conditioning. If you need a generator, whatever you may need.
You need to go to Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling because they're all over the place. 4 locations now across the state of the southeastern portion of the state of Wisconsin. And Drew, you're right. When that thing kicks up to 90 degrees and you start realizing, the second floor of our house is a little bit hotter than I would care to be. Let's fire that thing in and go call Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Now, clearly the folks that we mentioned earlier on, Jalen Brunson, hot, 45 points, closeout game, wins it. Jacob Misiorowski, Kyle Harrison, Jordan Stahl, hot. How about a couple here? Ivory Coast winning their first World Cup match since 2014. I'll tell you this. I watched way more of the World Cup than I anticipated. The Netherlands and Japan game was phenomenal on there.
There's some great games going on, guys.
But shout out to the couple of hottest groups of Ivory Coast and was it Australia that overnight basically beat Turkey?
Yeah, hold that L, Turkey.
Hold that L, Turkey. Come on now.
Doing it this way. Hold that L. Yeah, Australia is a big upset. So there's some really good matches going on, some great upsets. We were watching on Saturday when who got the late tie? Gosh, I'm blanking against Switzerland. It was totally unexpected and it was exciting. Qatar got that. Not that I'm rooting for Qatar or anything. It was just shocking to see. It's just amazing. I think Haiti tried to get in there, but they didn't get one. So it's some great matches, Billy.
And we had a friend of ours on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. Jason in Green Bay said, Armen, your cookies theory was in play all weekend for the World Cup. Teams so close to getting 3 points, only to have stoppage time goals or goals in the 80th or 90th minute for equalizers. Really exciting. A couple of those came that late. That's a heck of a swing when you're thinking of grabbing the 3 points to the 1. Right, so that's scoring wise and similar to hockey where you get the tie, you're grabbing the 1 point into pool play. That Qatar one came in the extra time. The Japan one, Drew, from yesterday was final seconds there. It was a really, really good week of the round ball. So I'm glad that it is now after the U.S. just dominated, donkey stomped Paraguay on Friday night. It's potentially our sport. We're potentially going to win the World Cup.
Yes.
And I'm here for it. I'm excited for us to win the World Cup and the men's gold medal, men's, women's, and Paralympic gold medal in hockey all in the same year.
And let's start with winning the group. Wouldn't that be great? But why not? Let's win it all.
We're winning the whole thing, Armen. Right. Come on now.
Shout out to
7 goals on Curacao. Oh my God.
Shout out to our friends Donovan Jorgensen, as well as our friends Current Electric. And by the way, when the show ends today, I'll go visit my friends at Game Day Men's Health in Brookfield. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Sign up for a free no obligation consult. See if they can change your life as they've done for many. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. When we come back, Hunter Baumgardt is going to join the party. He's up early on an off day for the Brewers. He was at the ballpark all weekend, and we are ready for the Cooper Pratt experience. We'll talk to Hunter about that and more as we move forward. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen. Father's Day is Sunday. You're under a week. Iron Jock's got you covered. Bundles available for dad. Check them out at ironjoc.com. Paulie Hanson's got the good bundles going on. You want that polo shirt and golf cap? Why not?
Thank
you. You want the long sleeve hoodie, the light hoodie and joggers, a complete outfit. That look cool. Hook your dad up at ironjoc.com. Take advantage of the Father's Day bundle through Sunday. Hey, let's welcome Hunter Baumgardt to our party. He's been covering the Brewers for us all weekend. He saw, and I don't think it's a stretch, the greatest game pitched in Brewers history on Friday night. Then a hiccup, and then yesterday another well-pitched game. Hunter, welcome to the program. What was your favorite moment of the weekend?
Oh, man, it's hard to pick. Thanks, guys. I think, well, no, it's not hard to pick. Ninth inning, Jacob Misiorowski. The Brewers had just gotten done batting in the bottom of the eighth. The ninth inning was about to begin, and Jacob Misiorowski walks out of that dugout alone. Brewers kind of let him walk out first, and he makes his way to the mound for that ninth inning, getting ready to complete the first complete game since 2023 for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he does so and hits 103.7 in the ninth inning, which coming into the night was the fastest pitch by a starting pitcher since 2008 in the StatCast era. I think that was my favorite moment. Second favorite was probably when he completed the game, put his arms in the air, and the crowd went wild. But that crowd pop when he came out of the dugout for that ninth inning was sensational, gave you chills.
My 3-year-old's favorite part was when Garrett Mitchell looked over at the camera and was readying with the Gatorade tub to then just absolutely douse him right after. But Hunter, on Thursday when you join us, we joke about it and talk that Miz is going to start on Friday, and well, there's no way he can get better, right? And then, and then he drops that one in front of us. Hard to be better than that, but just to know that that is the ceiling. In 365 days, he, strikes out a dozen Dodgers, beating Clayton Kershaw, starts his career with 11 no-hit innings, earns the win in a closeout game in the playoffs, on top of, clean inning in the All-Star game doesn't hurt as well. Opening day starter. I don't know that there's been a better one calendar year for a Brewers pitcher in it as well. I mean, just that outing caps it off, but that being the anniversary of when he makes the debut in the 33 jersey, then he's in the 32 jersey, and he's dominating and maybe the best in baseball. I don't know how you can find somebody that's had more of a dominant start to a Brewers career, it feels like, than Jacob Misiorowski.
I don't know if you could find one, right? I mean, the ERA this year is sensational. You look at what he did, obviously, last year, and what has stood out to me over the last, few weeks to a month is Pat Murphy's realizing how kind of special and sensational this is. And for a guy who's seen that much baseball, for him to really kind of, he'll obviously give flowers to his players, but he won't go to the kind of nth degree to talk about how, it's always about the next game, and whatever happened yesterday. It's all about coming out and winning tonight. That's kind of his mantra. But this has been, he's used words like special and sensational, and we got to take a moment to realize how special this is. And when a guy like that, who's seen a lot of baseball in his career, wants to kind of pause and talk about a young guy like that makes me think, okay, yeah, this is something else. And it obviously is. The velocity is something we've never seen. Being able to sustain it for 9 innings, something we've never seen. The strikeout numbers are there. All of that combined is exactly why he has gotten to where he's gotten in just a year in the big leagues. And then also, credit, and Jacob Misiorowski told us on Friday night after the game, like, credit to the training room staff, the athletic staff, for putting the cramps behind him, getting his strength to where it needs to be. Like, he came up here, yes, he could throw gas, but he needed to rein in the command. He needed to get stronger. He needed to use his lower half. Like, there were a bunch of things that they knew, okay, we could actually make this guy better than he is, on his debut, when he goes, whatever it was, 5 or 6 no-hit innings against the Cardinals in his debut. They knew he could get better, and the training staff, Jim Henderson, Chris Hook, the whole pitching staff, all worked with him. And now you're seeing it all kind of combined and come to fruition. And that was just, 15 strikeouts with no walks,
amazing,
less than 100 pitches, 1 hit. That is, like you said, probably the best pitch game in Brewers history.
It's pretty amazing. If it wasn't for him, we'd be talking about Kyle Harrison so much, right? What Kyle Harrison's been doing is also almost as incredible. Obviously, he doesn't have like the supernova velocity and that spectacle, but what Kyle's done has been so incredible, and we're blessed to have both of them here. And it takes some of the attention away from what he's done, but it's been amazing too.
Totally. And Kyle Harrison was great yesterday. I mean, you come out and you throw 6 shutout innings. I mean, the two combined to throw 15 shutout innings over the weekend and didn't walk a batter when you combine Miz and Harrison against that kind of lineup. It's not like they're playing the Rockies or another team that's not trying to win it. No, as Pat Murphy said this weekend, that team's trying to win a World Series over there, and they obviously made a managerial move early in the season to try to turn it around. They did. Phillies came in as the second hottest team in baseball, second to the Brewers, and they came out and the Brewers pitching staff, the 2 guys who you have known to be kind of your stalwarts all season long, your 1-2 punch. You know, Bob Nightingale said it's probably the best 1-2 punch in baseball. They came out and did what they do and came out and threw 15 shutout innings. And Harrison to bounce back from his Vegas start where it was just wonky, everything in Vegas. I mean, you look at the numbers. Yeah. I saw a graphic on the numbers of that Vegas series. Over the 6 game. Yeah, the A's played the Rockies there over the weekend. I mean, just ridiculous. The whole thing was ridiculous. And I saw Mike Vasallo put out the ERA without the Vegas start for Kyle Harrison, and that's what we're going to have to start to do. And that's what I said earlier in the week. Like that's what's going to be annoying. Or last week, that's what's going to be annoying is we're going to have to say, Kyle Harrison's ERA is this, but really, if you take out the weird Vegas ballpark playing at AAA ballpark, this is what it'd really be like 1.4 ERA for Kyle Harrison without that. And that's just how dominant he has been. And it's great to see him bounce back because, unfortunately, Chad Patrick didn't bounce back from his tough outing in Vegas on Saturday night. And hopefully he does. And Pat Murphy said he'll get back on track, and hopefully he does. But Kyle Harrison really did. He didn't have the strikeout stuff yesterday, but he was able to use everything else and still get through 6 shutout innings.
We're talking to Hunter Baumgardt, our baseball go-to guy. He's presented by Import Minded, the experts, 27th Street, just north of 894. Hunter, it was a week or two ago. I was asking about William Contreras sneakily getting hot and suddenly getting hot and he looking like Wild Bill again at the plate, driving the ball the other way, hitting some home runs. Hit a home run from his arse, fell on his arse, and Vegas hit the home run. Well, now Churio's Mr. Hot. Churio is the guy who's finding his. All of a sudden, you look up and he's got 9 homers. He hasn't been playing that long. He's got 9 homers already.
A month and a half.
He is. He looks like he's getting into mid-season form, don't you think?
For sure. I mean, 5 home run games. And he also, the thing about it, and the one thing kind of coming into this season that I think they really stressed with him was plate discipline and being able to that was the last key to his game. Not that there are more things to work on and he's always trying to get better and the coaches are trying to get better with him. But it was about, not swinging at the low and outside pitch or different pitches that were getting him before. And, Pat Murphy said it, after it was one of the 2 games, maybe Saturday night's game. He's like, that's what happens when you wait for a strike. That's what happens. And that's exactly what Churio's doing now. He's waiting for a strike. He's waiting for his pitch, and then he's pummeling it to dead center. So it's like, and these home runs have not been, cheapies over the park in Vegas. These are just home runs to center field and just absolutely crushed. And so I think that is what's led to this is his plate discipline. He's had, even since May 4th, when he came back, I think it's gotten better in the month and 10 days since he's been back. I think we've seen it get better. And we knew that if that came together, that he could be even scarier. And as Pat Murphy put it over the weekend, he's like, be careful because this guy's getting it. He's starting to really get it, and be careful. And that guy is just we talk about Cooper Pratt, and I'm sure we will. And like when some of these top prospects come up, but Churio to be doing what he's doing at whatever it is, 22 years old, 3rd year in the bigs. I mean, just you think about it. There's guys that are either just ending college. There's guys that are just starting in the minor leagues. This guy's in his 3rd year of baseball, and he's one of the hottest hitters in June in baseball, and he's been one of the better hitters overall in baseball this season. You just think about that, and you think about the future that guy has, and talk about a contract that's going to look real good, just like they're hoping the Pratt and Lara ones are.
Yeah, 22 years old. I was using the frozen fruit and pouring Everclear and Bacardi into a cooler and seeing how that wop would taste. I don't know that he's had to do any of
that's
that.
also an impressive accomplishment. You were showing your ability.
It worked out well.
Yeah.
We didn't have to pay for ice. We had it built in. Hunter, you mentioned it with Cooper Pratt. Now, Churio's the best probably of it. Well, second best. Freddie Peralta's deal ends up being the best. However, Jackson Churio's ends up will be another one. And obviously, they signed Luis Lara a couple of days ago, and Cooper Pratt gets the $50 million guaranteed for 8 years, could be up to $80 million. We're going to see him now on Tuesday. The expectations, he's 21 years old. The excitement will be through the roof. However, there's a process here. Rengifo maybe getting dinged allows them a soft launch into it, but what's the expectation for Pratt? He's going to come up here and be the everyday shortstop, right? Like they're not making this move and going to kind of piecemeal and cobble it along and, slow roll him with 3 or 4 days, right? He's going to come up here and most likely get a run for a few weeks and see what he can do. Correct?
That's what I would expect. I mean, from the beginning, Pat Murphy, Brewers, front office, they've all said they want guys when they come up to play every day. And if that's the case, then all right, here we go. Then he is going to be the shortstop for the foreseeable future until, they decide to go in a different direction, which hopefully they don't. And hopefully Cooper Pratt's the shortstop for a really long time because of obviously what you paid him and the prospect type, number 4 prospect in the system, 63rd in Major League Baseball per MLB Pipeline. So he is obviously a highly ranked guy, elite defender, not really losing anything there. From Joey Ortiz, and then it's all about the bat and what can he do with the bat. The interesting part, and to see how that transfers to the major league level. 244 at AAA this year, 6 home runs, 17 stolen bases. But yeah, I do think Rengifo is probably the odd man out. I don't even know if it's on NIL, to be honest. I mean, you look at there's an option of a DFA here, and the option of that is Tuesday's the first day where teams can make a trade of a player they signed this past offseason. And so this lines up pretty perfectly. Remember, if you designate someone for assignment, some of those end up in trades for cash or a player to be named later or what have you. Jacob Waguespack, who was a pitcher in the minor leagues for the Brewers, just did that. He was traded to the Tigers last week, and that was then that was for cash or player to be named later. But he wasn't designated for assignment, I don't think. But it was more so like that's a trade or a trade you could kind of see there. But maybe a team wants to take a chance on an experienced, third baseman, Luis Rengifo, and that's why they're doing it now. So that's why I would think I have a feeling that this wasn't necessarily, he fell on his wrist and then, Cooper Pratt is coming up to the bigs. I have a feeling they were kind of maybe targeting this date, just by, just because even a couple of weeks ago, Ken Rosenthal in The Athletic saying, hey, look out for that date. June 16th is the first day where you can trade a guy who you signed in the offseason. And so maybe this is something that they had been kind of looking at for a while. But I think overall, yeah, he's probably going to be your shortstop, play every day. And then look, Ortiz had his best offensive season when he was playing third base. So, and he's been actually better at the plate as of late. So I just wouldn't think he's the odd man out here as much as it's like, Pratt for Ortiz because Ortiz is your shortstop. I don't think so. I think Ortiz and Hamilton are probably staying on that roster. And then they kind of split time at third, and there would be days, give Pratt the day off and throw Ortiz in there maybe. But I kind of think that's your left side of the infield with Hamilton and Ortiz, depending on who you're facing at third base. And then Cooper Pratt, probably your everyday shortstop.
I'm liking that. Hunter, on the way out here, we always talk about the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury report. Well, in this case, it's nice, but we can talk, Woodruff's getting closer, and Quinn Priester probably a wash for this year. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to be able to talk about the opponent's injury report because Wayne Larrivee says it. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. Jose Ramirez hitting the hand, not going to be playing for the Guardians. That makes that series different. Spencer Strider had issues for the Braves, and now the Brewers are going to play the Braves, and they're not going to have their ace. So other teams are starting to have injuries. It almost seems like maybe the Brewers got a lot of their stuff done in April and May and can get rolling, right? It's interesting to watch the way that plays out.
For sure. Yeah, especially on the offensive side. Lockridge, it seems, he had an injection the other day. Sounds like his comeback is taking a little longer than he was hoping to. He was planning to maybe even go to AAA Nashville last week. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. He's back in Milwaukee, so trying to still rehab there. So that sounds like it's taken a little while longer. Coleman Crow, we talked to him over the weekend. He was, of course, placed on the IL Friday, right before the game. Kind of an odd timing, but they put him on the IL. Craig Yoho called up, and it sounds like Pat Murphy said it's going to be a short stint. Coleman Crow said he'll be throwing, within a couple days, and that was Saturday. So I would think hopefully he's throwing today. Something soreness that he had felt kind of in between starts, but had not really felt it on the mound until his last 2 outings. And so then he kind of brought it up and was like, yeah, that we might want to look at this. So they put him on the IL, short, hopefully. But everything kind of takes longer than maybe sometimes we originally think, just because they want to be safe with these guys. I mean, these guys are young. They don't want to ruin anything by bringing them back too fast. And then, of course, Brandon Woodruff as well, right? Brandon Woodruff is tentatively, I believe, scheduled to pitch in the minor leagues tomorrow. I don't know if that's Timber Rattlers or Nashville. Maybe we'll find that out today. But that is kind of the tentative plan. They want to give him one minor league start, it sounds like, to get that pitch count up and see how he does. And then probably in the majors back to that, or, after that. I know last week we had talked about him possibly pitching in this Guardian series. That is not going to happen. So it's going to be Gasser, Sproat, and Drowan in this Guardian series. But yeah, so that's the latest on Woodruff. They're still deciding on what they want to do with Priester. Pat Murphy thinks most likely it'll be seeing the nerve specialist again in Texas, who he saw at the beginning of all of this, and then decide next steps. I mean, there's surgery.
So not in Seattle, not on his dad's plane out to Seattle that we got the FlightAware video photo of yesterday, Hunter. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I thought maybe Priester Aviation's out there. Maybe that
was awesome.
I'm just trying for something.
Did the doctor move? Maybe he was like, you know what? I really want to live in the Pacific Northwest, and so that's where I'm going. I'm becoming
I like that. He went from Texas. He said, I want to go live in the cappuccino capital of the world. I'm going to go live in Seattle. It works out. Hunter, any way out, any good highlights from Family Day? I remember back in the day, HP Hernan Perez's kid just ripping homers there on Family Day. That's always one of the cool days on the beat.
It is. It was awesome yesterday. Christian Yelich's dog Winston stealing the show. I mean, whenever you have
my kid was
a
fired
dog
up with that.
That's, everybody's going to be happy. It's going to bring smile. No wonder they won 4-0. There was a dog in the clubhouse before the game.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think
get a coach in there and help out.
Yeah. Hunter, great job as always. We will be waiting for the next baseball pregame show, which airs tomorrow before the game.
Yes, exactly. 5:30 tomorrow. Thank you, guys.
All right. Hunter Baumgardt, join us here. Time to close up shop already. Boy, Mondays hit different. This one just flew by.
I love these Mondays.
We just got started and we're ready to shut it down. We'll have our wake and bake story from happyplacehemp.com when we come back, and we'll tie up any loose ends. It's still time for you to get us a hot take on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. You know, listening to the show is its own reward, but once in a while we give you a chance to win stuff. And today is one of those days because we have a 4-pack of tickets to attend Festa Italiana. Polish Fest was this weekend, and Miz pitched very well. Mm-hmm. So Festa Italiana, who's going to get hot? July 10th through the 12th. 4-pack of tickets. We'll do it. Let's go caller number 8.
I love that. Yes.
877-794-1973. We'll win a 4-pack of tickets to Festa Italiana, one of the great great ethnic festivals that takes place in the Summerfest grounds, July 10th to the 12th, Festa Italiana. All right.
You're going to leave full from that one.
Indeed.
That's an eating.
Time for a little wake and bake story brought to us by happyplacehemp.com. We love their products. We love the guys, Rob and Chris. And if you go to happyplacehemp.com and fill your cart, 25% off with the code Huddle and free shipping.
The right way of going about it. Drew, I don't know if this is a full wake or bake, but I love my man Darren Peterson from Kansas, who potentially is going to go number 1 in the NBA draft. We're going to talk a lot more draft coming up within the next week because league sources indicating the Bucks might be having a top 5 pick if one of these new third teams could be in there with the LA Clippers entering the mix for Jaylen Brown. But this one does not include Giannis. This one includes one man named Darren Peterson who believes he's going to be the number 1 pick. Said, I don't care about any of y'all other ones. This just out from Shams Charania, the first news that he's broken in some time. Said AJ DeBonsa from BYU has conducted formal visits with both the Washington Wizards, who hold the number 1 pick, and the Utah Jazz, who hold the number 2. Now, he played at BYU, got a nice, large sum of money from BYU. Some are indicating that it might have been Ryan Smith, who also owns the Utah Jazz. However, Darren Peterson said, I ain't going. He only visited the Wizards and does not plan to grant anyone else a meeting. Sources telling Shams Charania and Jeremy Wu both believe they could be going number 1. Darren Peterson said, if I ain't going first, you better not call. I love this. I have disdained the way he operated in college. The cramps because he was drinking too much creatine. Felt like we're maybe insulting our intelligence by telling us that it's creatine that's causing these cramps and not you wanting to load manage a little bit.
And a lot of people didn't like his attitude and the way he went about his business.
But he is an absolute baller. And when you're on the floor and just in between the lines, hard to say he's not the best player. Drew, he said, I'm the best player and I'm not talking to anybody else.
What's his backup plan though? Like he's going to get drafted 2 if he doesn't go 1. Is he just not going to report?
Yeah, no, I'm just not going to Utah. No, thanks. Well, remember,
we'll see how it works.
Remember, Ace Bailey also said he wasn't going to Utah. He played 77 games for the Utah Jazz this year.
Yeah, you want
wherever you go, you'll be going and playing.
You want the checks. Let's be honest.
All right. Thanks to Hunter Baumgardt. Thanks to Dolph. Thanks to everybody who got up, including the 5 o'clock club members. Thanks for all your game balls and
Great
kicks.
kicks to the balls, too.
Tomorrow we'll do a little buying and selling. We'll be hanging out again from 5 to 8, previewing a Brewers game and probably more in-depth talk about Giannis.
More Giannis.
How we can avoid it.
But it's Cooper Pratt Day tomorrow, so we can also.
It is Cooper Pratt Day, so we'll be focusing on debuts as well. Thank you for hanging out. We'll see you at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Peace.